And we started off with the Iro and uh, uh,
Whatever her wife's
almost.
name is, nobody cares.
It's written there right here, but I didn't capitalize it, so I was like, "Where's the name? I know it's here somewhere." It's like, "Oh, I didn't capitalize it." So Iro and a must. Then Goldie came out and talked some more. Iro brought out cookies. Said I'd have to be a grandma in order for her to teach me how to make those cookies.
You're working on that, Lowell.
Uh, After we were done talking, we went up to bed. Uh, Noah woke me up saying that M was stolen. So we rushed out and I booked it and caught up to M. Nem turned us invisible because we were in the middle of the road and a lot of people were staring at the dragon that we were holding. Because, yeah, that was great. So we
Reason.
headed back to the tavern. Nim and I hid in the kitchen, and Nim kept getting in the way because, of course, he did. Uh, and then we started to leave. We were like, yeah, we need to go. And Eb saw us when we had just noted, or Noah had just noticed that there was a the sensor for scrying right there looking at us, and party didn't want to say anything while we were uh, being scried upon.
For some
So
unfathomable reason.
yeah, because who knows who was scrying on us. Yeah. Then after she left, Nem tried to teleport us to Urzin. It seemed like we were on the road to Urzin, but didn't quite get there. So he tried to teleport us again, and we ended up in Korshana's home. Uh, uh, Her mom came in, and she got all excited, turned 12, and
It's been that way
uh,
ever since.
yep, been that way ever since. Ran out going to look for her dad. Uh, and then she came back, and we were waiting for her dad to come home. Uh, Helped with dinner. Then talked about all the craziness that's been happening to us. They didn't seem to quite believe some of the stuff we were talking about. Then at evening, Nim was kind of broken up, so I ended up talking to him. He he let Lowell know that he had thought he died again in the house somehow, and didn't want me to tell anybody, but I said he should probably tell everybody else. Spent the next
Tick,
day.
tick, Nim. That clock is ticking before Lowell gets fed up with your bullshit.
Spent the next couple of days helping out around town, hunting and drunk and cooking dinner and all that. Uh, After those 3 days, Kershana brought us together to start talking about the Coralon people coming in the next couple of days, and we'll try and decide what we were going to do for that. Party decided that they wanted to lie, and that's gonna go so well. Uh, and then a few days of Nim using divination to try and get some more information about it until Bad Fate Roll made it so he summoned Marty into this forest. And I think we were like a day and a half uh, until the Coralon people were supposed to be here.
If I remember correctly, it was the next day.
That's not cool, man. That's uncool. Can we not? That's not long enough. I'm scared.
I don't remember where we ended the day off.
I'm pretty sure you were like, Marty's coming, and we were like, okay, the end.
I think all we had really
Yeah.
said for that day was the divination, and you Nim did the divination, and then you said Marty was in the forest, and then that's where we ended.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have the rest of the day to do whatever you want. What do you do?
Boy.
Change of plans, guys?
Yeah.
Lying's super not gonna work if he shows up here.
So mine
Uh.
probably wasn't going to work either way.
Well, okay, not
You
the
don't
point.
know that.
I pretty much do. Oh, that he wasn't gonna come? Yeah, no, Lowell doesn't know that.
I did ask Savalierwood in general. He might not be coming here, and it might not.
Sure,
It might not be because we talked to them.
that's likely.
I
Well, I
I
think in
think,
any case,
uh,
we should consider the worst case scenario.
and
My
probably-
whole family and village is murdered by an evil archfey?
that would be bad.
Okay, fine. I won't
Let's-
talk to them.
Okay, maybe
I
not the
just-
worst case scenario. Maybe just the worst case scenario.
I think it would also
Like-
probably be a good idea not to use any of your prince powers in the village, in case we can sense it.
It's a little late for that. That's how we got here.
Nim, would you be
The
able
next-
to sense if Marty uses his powers?
Uh.
do you ever
Theoretically,
get-
yes.
Do you ever get pinged?
I haven't encountered him since I got these powers, so I don't know.
Well, and
Next
he's also
worst
got a
case scenario is that the Coralon followers stop protecting my village from the Fae, which would also be pretty bad, I think.
Yeah.
Do they know there's already a Fae in this village? Not me. Did he tell you guys about the one that he came across?
Nope.
Okay. Oh, oops.
I'm
Not
gonna
me.
assume that
Yeah.
Nim
There's-
hasn't told us anything.
there's
Sorry.
there's a fae here.
What now?
Yeah, can you describe to Korshana, like, wherever the place he kind of pinpointed that they were?
Yeah.
Okay. He describes...
One of the buildings about a couple, I'd say about 6 to 10 houses down from your house.
I mean, I assume I know whose house it is, right?
Uh,
I should know everybody. It's a small village.
You've also
sure, but
been
it's also
gone.
been how long since you've been here?
Well, we've been
42
here for
years.
a week, though.
Sure. Have you asked everybody? Oh, hey, is this person still living in this house? Is this person still living in this house? Is this person still
Well,
living
no, but I've probably been like socializing with the folks from my town. We've been here a week, like
Sure.
locked in my mama's house. I doubt that.
You might be. Roll me fate dice just to see.
Sure. Let's see. Let's see if I was summon Marty even faster, guys.
Why
No,
would you say
three
that?
5s and a 2. That's a +3. The good use of a really important fate roll, guys.
Plus
Plus
two.
That's two.
Yep, you're right. +2.
So you have in your socializing found out that that is a relatively new person that showed up in the past 5 years. They keep mostly to themselves. They are a male Eladrin, and
Okay.
they tend to
Makes
use either summer or spring outfit, and they help out with the enclave as best as possible. They are not a druid themselves, but they have enough wherewithal and survival and what have you to be a part of the druid enclave. And their name is Xanvis, Xanvis.
Yeah, I know him. I tell you all those things.
Then Nim would counter share that they seem to be from the summer court.
In
Ooh. The summer
you
court?
know
That's...
anything about the
What?
you know anything about the fae that he has in his house?
What if he he keeps to himself? What if he isn't? What if I don't know, maybe he's hiding one? That seems really hard. There's like 100 people living here max.
Is it somebody we should pay a visit to?
We
I
have
will
like
say,
a lot of really important decisions to make today, maybe?
I will interject
Yes.
here real quick with a +2. You would also gotten rumors that he seems to like to talk to himself.
Ah, okay, yeah.
And
I
in
say
D&D,
that
people who
too.
talk to themselves are rarely crazy.
Of course, Shauna talks to herself, but sure, yeah. Since we're not crazy.
Case in point.
And it's not
Exactly.
They're either Kalashtar or warlocks.
Oof.
Yep. Or have an invisible fae living in their house.
Yeah. Or in their heads.
Ooh.
Could be a Fae Pact warlock.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that would explain why he talks to himself all the time.
Hmm.
Honestly, if there's a fae that's been living here for 5 years, I'm not that worried about it.
Question mark.
Does your
Worried
does
that
your
the
father
party's
know
not going to
anything
take
about
that
it?
information well. I don't know.
He's an authority figure in the village, am I right?
Mhm.
Has he said anything about zombies?
Nope.
Maybe this is somebody that you guys could talk to instead of the Corlon people. An actual Fae from the summer court would probably know more than them.
But they probably also aren't going to risk him hurting them by telling us something. Just a guess.
Yes.
I mean, that's true of the Coralon followers too. I just assume that they're not going to be quite as worried because they don't work directly for him. I don't know, it's just all, if he's coming, it's all feeling a little bit stupid to me. I'm not going to lie. I'm a little worried. This is an important relationship for my village, right? I don't want it to get screwed up.
We don't want to put your village at risk.
Yeah, kind of what I'm saying. And if Marty's coming here, they're going to believe him over us no matter what. No matter how persuasive or deceptive we are.
Yeah. That would be an impossible battle to win persuasively.
Yeah, I mean, I can be relatively upfront with them and ask them just because they know who I am, if they'd be willing to tell me stuff. But if they ask too many questions about why I want to know, I'm not going to have a good answer.
Well,
I should probably also, never mind.
what were you going to say?
Nothing, I just, I know I'm kind of, precocious right now, and I should probably, figure out how to get my shit back together.
You seem to be having fun.
And that's, yeah, which is the Fae are all about that shit.
Well,
I don't know, guys.
This is a
I
bad
don't like
idea.
our
We
old
can
plan
just
anymore.
It's almost as if it's been 2 weeks and I thought about it, and it's probably not a good idea.
It's almost like I messaged the DM to create some lore about my Enclave's relationship with these Coralon followers, and now that I know what they do for the village, I don't want to fucking blow that up anymore, or
That's-
something.
Sounds gonna miss out on my plan. I had a whole plan for this too. It's
I
okay.
know, you had a
I'll
good
save
plan.
it. I'll save it. It
Well,
would still work if we go to the other forest, so I'll just hang on to it.
we can leave then so that we don't put the village in danger.
It's a good idea.
Yeah, because this is kind of a nomadic group of people. Am I understanding that right, or no? They
I mean,
just
we could move the Enclave. It's not important where it is.
no. I mean the um the the Coralon folks. They're not.
idea.
People don't know where their original spot is, but they are pretty sure they're not nomadic.
Okay, but
They
they
come
just
to
make
us, but we have no idea where they're from.
so nobody really knows like if they make rounds or something.
Right. There's not a lot of people living in this forest. I mean, there's the Nightback clan, there's us, there's the folks in the Blooming Grove. I think that's pretty much it. And these Coralon people. It's a big forest, and there's a lot of dangerous shit, so people don't tend to wander around too much.
And what do they do for your village, the enclave?
Well, we want to stay here, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
it's our job as druids to restore the balance of nature, and this forest is corrupted, and it seems like a good thing to do. So we want to stay here, but the Fae like to fuck with people. So the followers of Coralon kind of tell the Fae folks not to bother us, and in return, we guard the Fae portals.
Mm.
There's more than one?
I don't actually know the answer to that question, Sai.
More
I
than
just
one what?
said, do we guard more than one portal, or is it just a portal?
No, you just guard. You guard a. Basically, the way it works is you are given powers to guard a portal. The portal
Mhm.
moves, and you're not entirely sure if it's the same portal every time, but you move to the nearest portal and guard that.
But there's one guardian at all times. It's not like there's multiple of us out at different spots.
Right.
Got it.
So then, is there an equivalent of this, the Coralon folks for the Winter Court? Because I imagine there must be one that. Does the Winter Court even have Fae that the Enclave needs protection from?
Can I make a
Doesn't seem like-
strange? Oh, go ahead.
No, I just was going to say it doesn't seem like many people know the Winter Court exists.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing.
Yeah.
I wonder
So,
why.
yeah. I mean, I guess there's some kind of imbalance, right? Isn't that what the Winter Queen says?
That is what she said, but I
Well,
mean, that's like
the
a-
imbalance is because Marty is not a typical prince. That's
But why
what I
would nobody?
understand.
Why would nobody know about the other court? They could know one's more powerful than the other, but to not know
Yeah.
about it at all?
That's
I mean, I lived there
not work.
40 years and no one ever mentioned it. That seems weird to me.
Maybe it's by choice, just different different plans or whatever, or motivations.
And I know someone we could ask, but I probably shouldn't have them come here right now.
Probably not.
Totally.
Probably not.
Totally call him.
I just, we've stayed, which has been really nice. And if we want to leave, I mean, we could. This visit is kind of different from the normal ones, so I'm kind of curious why they're coming. But also, like I said, I don't know if us being here draws attention that is the reason why Marty's going to come and put my family in danger, that's also not good. Usually they come when, you know, one guardian is changing hands to a new guardian and they pick the new guardian, but there are guardians out there, although we didn't see them, so maybe that's what the problem is.
Then you want to stay long enough to find out why they're coming?
It could be relevant information for us, but it could also get my mama killed. So, like, I'm not really feeling good about any of the ways this goes, to be honest.
Does your dad not know why they're coming?
They just said they were coming, which, like I said, usually they only come when one guardian comes back and goes, I'm done now, send somebody else.
And that was you at one point, right?
I mean, that's how I did it.
And you never met who took your spot?
I'm going to assume no, because I kind of ran off. Yeah. I did my job for 12 years, and then Ashana needed me somewhere else, so I came home and said, I can't do this anymore because Ashana needs me somewhere else, and I left.
You gave them a 2 weeks notice, though, right?
When your eyes turn solid black, you kind of just go try and figure out why that's happening.
2 week notice.
Burning bridges.
I don't think it was a major disaster. I came back and told them I didn't just leave.
You will know after socializing with a lot of the group that it wasn't exactly great either.
Yeah.
You really didn't give them any time to replace you.
I was just like, I'm like, tomorrow, not going to be here anymore. So, y'all want to send someone? Okay.
But that's also 12 years ago, so people have kind of gotten over it.
I would have left 2 years ago.
2 years ago? Okay.
I would have left my job 2 years ago, right? I would have started my job 12 years, 14 years ago.
Been 2 years, so people are kind of over it now.
Yeah.
42 for her.
Right.
It's been a while.
Well, we can stay and hope for the best and just not interact with them and just find out why they're here. But if Marty's with them, then us being here would put everyone in danger.
Somehow I feel like Marty won't be with them, because isn't the point to keep Faye out of the Enclave?
That is the agreement, yes.
So I doubt they would bring the Prince of the Fae into the
If they even know it's him.
No, that is a good point.
He could fool a god, so.
That is a good point.
Yeah. And, I mean, we know that him and the Queen are both interested in people like me and my mom, so... I don't know that going away is going to save her either, I guess, right? Because if that's why he's coming, I don't know that he knows we're here. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't.
Is your mom aware of the danger that she's in, particularly because of her ability?
Yes. She thinks that I should stay here and, like, let you guys leave, and that she and I and Papa should fight Marty, the three of us.
Or two of you, not Marty.
True.
Thanks, God. Divine intervention.
I mean, I told Mama everything, like literally everything.
Well, it's your home. It should be your choice.
Yeah.
I don't really, I mean, yeah, probably not. Well, she probably told her about what happened with Eb and figuring out that Eb was Faye. She probably wasn't explicit about the fact that she banged them a lot. I mean, we're druids, man. Sex is part of life, okay?
True. It's true.
That's funny.
I mean, Mama doesn't put much like stock in what Shauna has to say, so she thinks that there's a choice here, but I don't really feel like there is. I mean, we have work to do. And I don't feel like ignoring the Marty problem is going to make her any safer.
This might be a little bit rude, but would your mother be willing to give up the power to Marty if she doesn't particularly care about it?
That's what I'm scared of. Like, because they want something with it, right? So if she just gives it to him, like, that seems like they obviously want something out of me and Mama. So I don't think that giving them what they want is a good thing. She wants to trade her ability to talk to Shauna for my freedom from Nim.
Mm-hmm. And
I told her no, but I'm not her mama, so I can't make her do anything.
I just feel like if that were to happen, it would be very hard to undo, or rather, not undo, but fix.
I don't
Yeah.
think we would be able to fix it.
Nope.
Put us at a huge disadvantage.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I've been as clear as I can be that that's not okay with me. That more Fey deals is not the solution to Fey deals. Sorry, Nim.
Personally, I think we should stay while the Coralon folks are here, but not necessarily engage them at this point. I think if Marty is with them, it would be good to be on hand to make sure nothing happens to your mother or anybody else in the Enclave.
If he is there, then
we can try to avoid him.
Well, if he's here and he starts trouble, we could make it so he knows we're here and have him chase us instead of causing trouble for the village.
I like that plan.
Yep. And if he's not there, we can decide then if we want to go ahead and with the original plan and discuss things with them.
And I guess you don't want me along for that because...
How about, okay, Lowell, do you think you can handle? Do you think you can handle just not saying anything? Because I don't like the idea of you not coming, but like, it's unsolicited truth that I'm worried about. I would like to approach them with honesty. I think it's a safer bet for my family. I think saying, you know, I spent a bunch of years outside that portal. I spent a bunch of years in the Feywild. I know of Martivir. I want to know more about him. Is all fine. And if they tell us to fuck off, then that's it. Fine. It's, I just don't really want them to know about the fact that, like, we're trying to get that information because we intend to fight him. That, I feel like, is where things go bad.
Yeah.
I think total honesty with people who have goodwill will generally turn out well. But if it's either ambiguous or they have malicious intent, the truth could be used against you. And
but do they have malicious intent or ambiguous? I thought they
ambiguous
were.
at this point.
But
well,
aren't
they're
they
kind of pro Summer Court, which we're kind of not pro Summer Court. That I feel like
It's
is an issue.
It's ambiguous because they probably don't even know that they are potentially our enemy, but they also serve somebody who we're trying to destroy.
Doesn't make them
So-
bad though.
No, of course not.
Oh, they're not bad
Of
people.
course not.
There are plenty of Summer Fae who are just, fine.
But the
But-
person they serve has malicious intent. So if he gets a hold of whatever information we tell them and it comes back to bite us, that wouldn't be good. Now, see, like with Arrow and the Must, I don't mind telling them any and everything because I know that they have the best of intentions.
Hmm. And
No, you don't like it, Lowell.
just get kind of impatient when we talk in circles and it takes forever to get to the point.
We know.
Where are you having this conversation?
My house?
Okay. Your mom will knock on your door and come in and, Corshana, do you have your formal attire ready?
No.
Well,
I assume no.
we need to get you presented. Well, it's for tomorrow. The Corlin followers will because you're here with us.
Okay. It's been a while, Mama. I didn't remember that we dress up for them. We live in the woods.
I mean, we dress up as druids dress up. That's what I mean. Not like you're not
Okay.
going to a prom ball. I get that, honey, but at least not be wearing I just killed something 2 minutes ago.
Green dragon hide armor is not fancy enough for them. This
A
is
druid
mastercraft
ball.
shit, Mama.
I mean,
What
Look,
would
I
that would
sewed
be like?
crocodile teeth into it myself and everything.
I had the outfit that I made for you, but that's okay. You don't have to wear it. That's fine. All right.
Oh,
can
you-
wear it,
I mean,
I get
look.
that, I understand.
You,
All
you
right,
don't
that's
want to
fine.
wear
Oh,
an outfit
God.
your mom made?
Wait,
Oh,
okay,
that's a
hold
very
on,
mom response, Silent.
Mama.
My mom would
It's
totally
already
say
left.
that.
I didn't realize you made something. Come back.
So mean.
Corshana wants to see it. She'll go chase her mom.
Okay. I mean, she's always had an outfit for you that she's kept up over time. That she is readjusted and God, what would it be?
Taylor.
Altered.
I would say tailored because I don't think she would have leatherworking. So it's not like too frilly of a dress, but it is definitely an earthly type dress.
And I assume that if I wore this, I'd have to take my armor off.
Yes.
Yeah, no go, Mama. Sorry.
Why? You think we're gonna get in a battle with them?
No, look at how badass I look right now. This is like, I have come into my own. Congratulations, the boon you granted me trained me up to become such a cool person that I got Mastercraft green dragonhide armor with crocodile teeth sewn into it. Come on!
You made that armor yourself.
Not the armor, but the embellishments I did myself.
Where'd you get the armor?
From Nim's family.
They gave it to you?
We took it from their house.
It was
Nim said it was fine, so Nim's part of his own family, right?
It was crowdsourced.
The point is, we're not here to dress up as if we're ready to go to war for them. Every time they show up, it's a kind of formal event usually, although this one's a little weird because we don't think we needed a new guardian. So, but even still, most of the time when they show up, we want to be more, we don't need to show that we're badass to them, honey.
Right. Are you like my friends don't have anything else to wear except their armor?
They're your friends, they're your guests, not ours. You're my daughter, therefore I need to make sure you're presentable.
Can we attach the skirt to my armor? That's a no.
Fine. If that's what you want, honey, that's what
I mean, I want to. look the way you want me to look because you're my mama, and I'm sure that this is what Papa wants, and he's like in charge of everybody or whatever. I just am a little bit scared to take my armor off. Yeah, I'm a little scared.
Why?
Nim cast a spell this morning, and something told Nim that the Summer Prince is going to come here, and you don't have the best relationship with him, as you know. And I'm just afraid that he's going to come with the Corlon followers, going to come before, like, because the Corlon followers come here. Korshan is not clarifying. She thinks he's coming here.
Well, wouldn't that be a better reason why we don't want to show aggression to them? Oh, hey, thanks for coming by. By the way, we're ready to fight you now.
I think he thinks we always want to fight him. Just a guess.
Should we be ready for battle then?
Well, my friends and I were kind of thinking about basically if he comes here and he gets aggressive, like luring him away from here.
Are you not sure about
That's our
that?
plan. That's our plan.
You
Well,
know
I
your
get what you
father's
want me to just put you at
right?
risk.
Like, we aren't just some weaklings here.
He's an archfey, Mama.
Okay. Archdruid, Archfey sounds about the same.
I mean, look, I'm not saying that we're super equipped to handle him, but I am saying that I'm not willing to put you and the family and the village at risk.
And so we're just going to watch you run off as you try to fight him? You know, we just had this conversation, right?
Uh-huh. I didn't listen to you.
You never do.
Because I disagree with you, and now I'm 67 years old, and I think I get the right to disagree with you sometimes.
Well, you might think you're 67 years old, but you're still in a 27-year-old body.
Uh-huh. Still
So
an adult.
therefore, I trump over whatever decisions you make.
Our plan is to show up and see what happens. And, like, try and keep you safe. That's our plan. That's the whole plan.
So are you going to wear the dress or not?
Fine.
All right, well, I need to retailer it, so let's go take care of that.
Okay. Korshan is going to make sure that her armor is in the bag of holding so that if we teleport out of here, her armor is not lost forever. Please, Noah, hold on to my baby.
Okay.
Mama says, y'all want to know what my AC is now? Hold on, let me de-equip my armor.
Is it like 10?
Oh, I could leave my ring of protection on.
Yep.
So that's good.
Did you get a tattoo?
You didn't get the armor tattoo, did you?
My tattoo, when I go down to 0, puts me at 1 instead the first time.
Oh,
I'm the one who doesn't have to wear armor anymore, finally.
I also
I don't-
13.
Yeah, 13.
See,
I'm at 13.
so both of
I
you were
missed
trying to,
armor.
so both of you
That's
were
what-
trying to copy Lowell, who doesn't have to wear armor either.
That's what my AC
Yeah,
used
except
to be
it's
for a long
so
time.
much harder. So much harder when you're not a monk.
Or a barbarian.
Yeah.
I mean, mages have mage armor, so it's not that much different.
I
Imagine
don't.
having the mage armor spell.
Well, you're a druid.
You have bark skin.
Oh yeah, I never prepped that. Maybe tomorrow I'll prep that.
Artificers don't get either of those spells because they can wear medium armor.
So
Must be
Korshan
nice.
is indisposed for a couple hours. What do the rest of you do?
Oh, I had plans, and I think they may have changed because you can't bring Heek here without that being kind of obvious.
Korshan will never know.
I think
It's true.
we'll just go to scenic place in the village and just sit there and look at flowers or something. Just,
Okay.
just off by himself.
guess Nim can check in with Keither, make sure she's okay, because it's been a whole week here.
Druids aren't really that unfamiliar to me. I don't. Why would you think I wouldn't be okay? Better question is whether you're okay.
I think I'll be better when we leave here. You heard that Marty might be coming here or near here.
Marty's always going to be a threat no matter where we go. Nim, you need to accept that.
Then staying here is endangering people.
The best thing I can put to it is back in the day, you were always in danger because of what your father did. It didn't matter where he was. It didn't matter what he did. You were his son. You were always going to be in danger. You being here puts him in a little more danger, yes, probably, but if Marty is as smart as Marty is, he probably already knows Korshana comes from here, so it doesn't really matter whether or not you're here.
That makes sense. Well, if he hasn't done anything so far here, knowing that, then maybe it'll be okay to hear what the people from Coralon's church are here for.
I will say that we need to be on our guard because if he does show up, it's going to be extremely dangerous. But you have to accept the fact, all of you really do, that this is going to be the way it is for a while until you can get rid of this pact or even not have to deal with Marty. That might not be for a long time. So we are here for you to help you regardless of what we said. Like, that's what we do. I'm more concerned about what you had to deal with back at the house.
I still don't really know what to make of that. You're sure it wasn't them?
I'm very confident in my ex-party's abilities, and if it truly was them, you all would have been wiped out almost immediately. I think this Ortuvia has a hold on them and maybe has some spirits of essences of some sort and was trying to defend the shard if it's true about what the shard can do to it.
I somehow was able to... I don't even know how to explain it. Either I contacted him or he contacted me with the shard the night that we got back. It was different though.
I mean, from what it sounds like, it's something of his, so I'm not that surprised. So just be careful when you have it.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm fine. I'm just more concerned about you.
I'll be fine.
Okay, you let me know if that changes.
Mm-hmm.
Does Noah do anything? Before or after eating?
He will make sure that Im is taken care of, and then make another spell scroll.
Okay.
So if he's been working on that the full week, it should come out to like 8 total because we did one in the workshop. And then,
Yeah, that's fine. So evening turns into nighttime. Does anybody do anything before they turn in?
Should we? I mean, Korshan would run this plan by her father as well. So unless he has something substantive to say, we don't have to.
Honey, you understand that we have to keep up a good relationship with the followers, right?
Yeah, that's a big concern for me in this whole situation. Absolutely.
I mean, I'm not going to say your concerns aren't valid, honey, but I don't know what we can do. I will defend the Enclave if necessary. That's my job.
Yeah. Well, hopefully that's not a problem. But do you think it's really stupid for us to even ask them for information? Like, I really don't want them to stop telling the Fae to avoid this place.
What kind of information are you trying to get from them?
Well, I would like to know more about the Summer Prince, since he's kind of on our ass.
I don't see why they wouldn't at least talk about him for a little bit. Just be very careful what you ask.
Yeah.
Even though you and your friends are not really part of the Enclave right now, you still represent us when we talk to them.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Especially since Mama's making me wear this dress.
You look great in it, honey.
Well, obviously. But thank you, Papa.
You know, for a 67-year-old, you don't look a day over 27.
Thank you so much, Papa. You're so sweet.
I don't. If we walk into this being worried out of our minds, all we're going to do is stress ourselves out. I say just relax, and what comes will come. And if it's our time, it's our time. You know how nature works.
Yeah, but it doesn't. I don't like it when it's you and Mama and everybody here.
Honey, everybody has to die someday.
I know. I don't really want to watch it happen to you.
I would rather die before watching you die.
You are my dad, so I guess that's fair. I just don't want to be the reason why it happens. That's all.
Well, we'll just have to see what happens.
Okay, Papa. Well, when you're right, you're right.
And you know, if it is my time, I'm just letting you know, my friend is still interested.
Gross, Papa. Stop it.
He laughs and walks away.
Bye.
Bye.
I was wondering when that was going to come in. It was only a matter of time. Walk out with the finger guns.
He almost did, but he decided not
Everyone dies
Be a
inside
kiddo.
sometime. Everyone has to
This
die
is the
inside
one
eventually.
who grew up a druid. Like, it's not even the parent who, like, grew up in the outside world. This is the one that's lived in the fucking forest his whole goddamn life. Oh my god.
So,
It's great.
If else do anything for the night's turns over to the day.
Sick.
this is gonna be a bad idea.
Do it.
Now's the time. Don't wait.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Can Nim talk to Cora's mom?
Oh god.
Oh, no.
Told you it was
She's
gonna be a
like,
bad
can
idea.
I? I'm like, fucking please do it.
Oh boy.
Uh,
Let me get my popcorn.
Yeah,
Nimrod,
right?
I believe.
Yeah.
Been
What's
seeing
up?
her a week, she doesn't know its name. I'm muting.
Okay, I'm gonna have to like completely close Discord here real quick. Um, can can we talk somewhere, or can you do? I guess he'll like make a gesture because he knows Korshana can do the mental link, and he has no clue what that's like called. Like Kalistar, he just knows she can do that. So
I just imagine going, can you,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
like
And
private
she's like,
conversation.
are you okay? Are you
I'm fine.
okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
We can talk whenever. You're Cora's friend, Korshana's friend, so I don't see why we couldn't.
Okay, yeah, I was just hoping maybe we could talk in a way where she can't hear us.
Let's take a walk. I know a nice path that we can follow that you generally walk.
Okay.
And she'll take you outside and along her garden path. What's up?
You are not still thinking of making some kind of Fey deal, are you?
Boy, I was expecting you to ask something silly, as in like, "Can I have your daughter's hand in marriage?" But no. Okay. If it I can't really give an answer to that. Why?
Because I wanted to tell you not to do that.
Even if it means saving my daughter's life.
It won't.
How do you know that?
Because that's how I ended up the way that I am.
And how are the way that you are?
My mother made a deal with the Fae to save my life, and she owed them, and she spent years looking for a way out of what she owed, but you can't do that, and whatever you owe is going to be worse than whatever you get.
Then I just pay the price. It sounds like you're, no offense, it sounds like your mother did her best to wiggle her way out of it.
She didn't pay the price, I did.
And how well does your mother understand the Fae?
I don't know.
You understand what it is we do here, yes?
You're druids and you protect a portal in the forest?
Mm-hmm. More specifically, we protect the Fae portal. And we do this with the blessing of the Coralline followers.
So have you already made a deal with Faye before then? Or
I mean, you could say that we've made a deal with the Coralline followers for years now. Longer than I've even been alive.
they're not Faye though, to my understanding. That's a deal like you would make with any other person.
They as a whole may not be, but from what they've told me, elves generally are descended from Fae, even more so in particular breeds. So parts of them could be considered part Fae. But the point is that we understand them, we talk with them, and we understand better. We understand how the Fae work better than most.
Well, you still seemed surprised to hear how a deal would work. There's things about them that I don't think you know, or you wouldn't know until you made a mistake. If you do this, I don't think Korshana would forgive you.
And that's fine if it means her life over mine. I'm not gonna just watch her die and do nothing.
It's possible what you do could turn out worse. It always turns out worse than you think it will.
I would like to think I have something they want. More often than not, from what I understand, the deals that the Fae make are only for their pleasure in watching people struggle with them. Not so much that they have something they want.
The Fae that you want to deal with are very dangerous. It's not worth it. I don't know how else to say it. My mother tried to make a deal with the Fae to protect me, and it has not been good. And I don't see why it would be any different for Korshana or for you. Just don't make the same mistake that she did.
I mean no disrespect to you, Nim,
Mm-hmm.
but a mother's love changes things. And I understand what it is you're telling me, but I would do anything for my daughter.
Again, this is the same thing. I just want to stop it from happening again.
Then promise me you won't let her die.
I promise.
And I will hold you to that promise.
Of course.
But I can promise you that if there becomes a choice between watching her die or giving my life to save her, I will choose the latter every time.
That I understand. It's the deal with the Fae that I wanted to warn you against.
I mean, it won't matter who the deal is with. If I have to make the deal with the devil himself, I would do it.
I could tell you about that too, but really don't advise it.
Well, then, like I said, hold to your promise. Keep her out of death's door, and I won't have to make that deal. Very simple.
Well, you have my word. I don't intend to let any of them die.
How long have you been partying together?
That's actually an excellent question. It's been a couple months, right?
Yep.
a couple of months now, I think. It's a little hard to keep track of.
Well, from what I understand, I wasn't really much of the adventuring type, but from what I understand, there will be times when you have to make difficult decisions. And I wish you the best of luck on those.
Thanks.
Now then, was there anything else?
No, I just wanted to say something before I don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow.
I understand.
Well, thanks for at least hearing me out.
Of course. You are one of Korshana's friends. It would be rude of me not to.
Hmm. Well, I guess we should get back.
I do have one important question for you.
What was that?
Does she have her eye on anybody else in the party?
I honestly would he have ever been able to tell that with his terrible perception? Because I feel like the answer is he would have no clue because
I
he just
think that
doesn't
is the
notice
answer,
that
yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Between his perception and his insight, like passively, he has no clue. I don't know. I don't think so. She's pretty straightforward. I feel like she would have said something.
I don't know though. This is to Bex, who's muted at the time. You said you were over it, so I don't know if you've been giving anybody looks lately.
She ain't over it anymore.
Okay. So to that, she will say, what would she say?
Have fun.
Nin's been pretty preoccupied too, so I don't think she would say anything.
That's fine. He unfortunately can't give her any insight on that because he literally does not have insight.
That's fine. She doesn't really need to talk to you about it anyways, because you're not either of the two parties.
Makes
So
sense.
she'll walk you back to the house, offer you some cookies. Not nearly as good as Corey's.
Because she's not a grandma.
Yeah. Even though she wants to be.
Is that when our cookies will improve?
So it's Korshana.
Yeah, if she fucking lives that long. Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mama lives long enough to see me have a daughter.
You know, when she gave you cookies, she talked about, so when are you thinking about settling down?
Me?
Yeah.
Are we really having this conversation, Mama?
I mean, I haven't seen you in a couple years, honey. You said you're 67. You're getting over that hill. I want to hear the little pitter-patter of feet across this room.
I mean, we have some kind of important work to do that pregnancy would not make any easier, Mama.
Well, you can take some little time off for pregnancy. I can watch over the kid, and then you can go back and do your important work. It's fine.
I don't know about that. I mean, for like several reasons, chief among them being that apparently we're like turning Faye a little bit, and I would really like for my daughter to be Kalishtar, and I'm not so sure that that would be the case at the moment.
Well, can you just turn back?
I don't think so.
You do or do not think so? I didn't hear it.
I don't think so.
Well, then I guess you better get on it right now before you turn completely Faye, and then you won't have that choice anymore.
No, I mean, eventually, supposedly, when we deal with all those jobs that we did, then we'll turn back into people. But then all the years will catch up to me. But then if I'm an archdruid, they won't matter that much. Blah blah blah.
And how long will that be?
I have no idea. I mean, somebody told me 300 years, but I don't believe them.
You know it's not happening, right? Like
What?
the next 10 years, the next 5 years, you need to have a child.
Get out of my head, Silent. Figured out. You know I have to have a daughter. Like, you know how I feel about Ashana.
Well, then you best start working on it.
Well, I'm waiting for the right time.
Or the right man to walk into your life.
Maybe.
You sure he isn't already there?
No, I'm not sure.
I see some of the looks you give him.
Stop. Don't. It's extremely complicated, Mama.
When isn't it complicated? It is literally how love works.
Yeah, I guess. But, like, it was easy for you and Papa, wasn't it?
How is that easy? Yeah, I gotta get lost in the forest, found by somebody, brought over to the Enclave, and then fall in love with the person who's meant to be Archdruid. Totally easy.
Okay, well, when you put it like that.
Yeah? Do I need to go put you in some forest to have him go find you?
No, I don't think that's necessary. I also don't think it would work.
Well, then,
I hear you, Mama. I hear you. I don't know what you want me to say. It's not.
I want you to tell
I
me
don't think.
you've been watching some people and you're interested. That's
Yeah.
all I need to hear.
Yes.
Okay.
But I think that this one deserves a slow burn, okay?
5 years.
Sure.
Okay.
I don't think I'll be able to wait 5 years, Mama.
Great. That's fine. Even better.
The babies, though, that's a tough question. And one I've already had plenty of heartbreak over, so, like, I don't need the guilt trip, please. I'm begging you.
You know that's not how this works. It's my job to
Well,
get
yeah. Okay, Mama. It's your job to guilt trip me if I don't get the point. I get the point, okay?
Yeah, but I'm not gonna wait forever.
Well, I won't make you wait forever.
Mm-hmm.
Just 300 years.
No.
I'll figure it out. I promise to figure it out.
Okay.
I have every intention of making it happen in the next 5 years, okay?
You let me know if I need to work anything. You know,
I really think that would be a big disaster, Mama.
get you on the right path. You know, I know some really great places for romantic walks that your father and I walk on.
I mean, I'll take those tips, but, like, I really think that you trying to intercede here would be a big disaster, Mama.
I promise I won't talk to him.
I don't believe you.
You can see one hand hiding behind her back.
I would like to stop you, but as I am learning this week, I can't stop you from much, can I?
I am your mother, after all.
I love you.
I love you too. These cookies would be better if I had a grandchild. She walked away.
Don't do it, Mama! Oh no. Look at Aiden's face right now. He is so scared that you're about to come to him as Kayashana and give him a talking to. Look at his face. He looks terrified.
Does anybody else do anything for the night?
No.
I think about summoning Heek, but don't do it because it's a bad idea.
Noah doesn't get jumped by, or doesn't get ambushed by Korsana's mom.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I don't hide. I wouldn't know.
He
to
isn't
hide
really looking to instigate anything anyways.
Yet.
yet.
Yeah. Yet, indeed.
Yeah, well, really wouldn't do much anything other than just get ready for bed and go to sleep.
Okay. All right. Next morning arrives. Everybody's woken up at the crack of dawn.
Except Nim, who's already up.
Yep. Kaishana's like, time to get up, Nick. That's a little weird. All right. Well, time to be up, both of you? All right, that's really strange. Anyways, moving on.
No, we don't sleep.
She will knock on your door, Korosana. Honey, time to get up.
Korshan is already awake.
You can tell she's a little disappointed.
Kidding, I'm super sleeping. I'm totally asleep. Oh, I'm sleeping. Oh, wake me up,
No,
mommy.
that's not why she's disappointed.
Why is she disappointed?
She walks away.
God damn it, Mama, what the fuck?
Because Noah
Passive
wasn't there.
Insight doesn't say anything.
Yeah, is it because I wasn't naked with a certain blue person?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Oh my lord. Mama needs to fucking chill. Mama has no fucking chill.
You
Yeah,
come home and
all
like,
three.
hey mom, we're fighting this dangerous evil. By the way, I might not survive till tomorrow. And she's like, maybe have a child first?
Yeah, just real quick, get pregnant, have a baby all in one day, no big deal, all good.
I mean, that's better than you be like, I'll just never have a child. It's all right.
She don't. We're not having this argument again. Out of character. We don't need to. You're not actually my mom. I don't need to explain this to you.
Nim could use time travel. Just
Oh
make it so
my
that
God. Oh no, don't say it.
Yeah, don't say that in front of Nim. Do not give Nim any ideas.
God.
Don't say it.
Only bad ideas here.
Oh my god. There's
she
nothing like-
carries the baby to term, and then Nim just
Doesn't get
takes her
this.
back. So it's
Oh
a day.
my God. You
That's
close,
not
the,
weird.
close the loop.
Gotta close the loop. No
Why are all
big deal.
these? Why are all the bad ideas happening on the eve of the big day?
Because as long as we're
Yeah,
already like
Jesus.
having
Oh
one bad
my
plan, why not have several bad plans?
Oh, yeah, you're
Fair
right.
point.
Double down.
All
Yeah.
right, so we'll move on from this conversation before Bex continues to give me death glares. So, everybody is given breakfast. Everybody's given breakfast. It's pretty good. Your father is dressed to the nines. Sam is your mother. Completely regal archdruid outfit. Not really meant for battle. Your mother is wearing a dress very similar to yours. Has a little more, actually has less items on it, kind of to show that she hasn't traveled nearly as much as you have. Like you've added some of your stuff to it. So like you have the things that you added your little druid tree thing, teeth and stuff like that you've added onto it. And your father just like, all right, your friends do not have to come along, but Korshana, you and mother will need to join me. Hopefully this visit isn't very long.
They like stick around in the back. It's probably not a problem, right?
No, it's fine. I mean, most of the village will show up because that's what we do. So if they want to be with the village while we talk, that's fine. But us three have to actually be up front talking to them.
Makes sense.
So
We just have this rule, like, never split the party. I don't know. Yeah,
I mean, that's fine.
I want
You
them around.
be in the same area.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then you hear fanfare in the distance, and he's like, well, sounds about time.
Here they come. All right, Koroshan is getting her shit together. I can RP a switch in personality. I'm capable of that.
Totally.
Uh-huh.
So the three of
Are we
two,
bringing Lowell?
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The 7 of you plus Im all head out to the main entry point of the enclave. The
So-
villagers all kind of gather around it. The three of you are up near the front. The rest of you are in the back. And in the distance, you see a caravan of people. Like there's no wagon or anything. It's just a bunch of people as they're coming through the forest. And in the head, it is. I mean, there's multiple elves, but as they start getting closer, Korshana, you have the best perception. You can tell that it is like a literal troop of people. And not only is it elves and elf-like people, but it is also looks to be fae. So it is, you can see a couple dryads, pixies, fairies, a couple satyrs, a couple eladrin, and you can tell the differences. So like the Corlin followers have certain garbs to them. There's two in the front that have a more official like priest regalia, colored dark red. The hoods are back, and you can see the elves and the symbols of Corlin all across the front of them. Between them, there's a very beautiful, almost ethereal, beautiful Eladrin woman who has a very fine summer type outfit that seems to be a mixture between a leaf dress and antler horns that come out from her head. Behind them are the rest of the procession. There's tons of guards. I would say a dozen on each side. Again, with the Corellian outfit, regalia to them. They are garbed in plate mail. No, not plate mail. They would do mithril armor. That would make more sense.
Korshana is like, and you told me not to wear my fucking armor? In her head, to herself.
The satyr, dryad, pixies, and the rest of them are just kind of like dancing along behind them. Like, this is really fun and enjoyable. I like being out here. This is kind of cool. And nobody's telling them they can't. And you can tell that it's some type of procession of some sort. Most likely for the female Eladrin that's up front. As that person gets closer and closer, you recognize them because you've seen them before. They've showed up at while you were in the court, or while you were in the summer palace for 40 years, she's shown up multiple times. You've never gotten her name. The only thing she's ever told you is that she's one of the queen's favorites. And you also recognize two other people in the procession.
Mm-hmm.
They don't seem to see you at the moment.
Okay. I'm gonna turn my head just enough to mind link with Nim and dump as much information about what I'm seeing as I possibly can between when I spot this and when they walk up.
Yeah, I mean,
it's near the end where they're getting really close to you that the rest of the villagers can like see. You all can kind of see because they cleared the area. So Nim's kind of short too. What are you doing, Nim? Because you're surrounded by taller people. I just realized.
Not seeing much. I mean, that's part of his lack of perception, probably. The low number.
Yeah, Korshana's just rapid fire describing everything she can see to Nim. Like, as fast as she can. She's telling him as much of this as she can.
Nim, you realize the Summer Prince is here.
Oh, shit.
Especially about that woman that I know her.
How did he get the sense the Summer Prince is here? Just like, he can just tell?
Feel it nearby. You can't see it, but you think it's somewhere in the procession, but it's hard to pinpoint because you can't see anybody.
He'll counter tell you that, because that's real bad and he really wants to leave now.
Mm-hmm.
Are we leaving now? Are we done?
I don't think so.
Everybody comes up to your father and your mother and you, the Krellin followers that are both flanking the female Eladrin, step forward and say, I forgot your father's name.
Alondiel.
They will not say it first. Your father will go, welcome to our humble enclave. We are pleased to see that you have decided to visit us, but we are unsure as to the occasion. However, as always, our village is open to you all. What else would you say? I think that would be it. Our village is open to you all. And the Corellan priests that are flanking the female Eladrin will both step forward, bow. Thank you, Archdruid. What was his name again?
Alondiel.
Alandio. Why can't I find your sheet? There it is. Did I put it here? Nope. Oh, there
It's
it is.
Alondiel.
I see it. Thank you, Archdruid Alando. We have decided, or we have come to show one of our esteemed guests around. She has determined that she wanted to see the area around Savalier Wood, especially as that is where a lot of the portals are, and those who sacrifice or give their lives not sacrifice, those who offer their lives in terms of guardianship towards the portals. We are pleased to announce that this is the new Summer Prince. Fuck, I put the sheet over here.
Wait.
Kara Isa.
Are you gonna put that in the chat there?
There is a break,
Please?
but it doesn't have it.
Okay.
The female Eladrin smiles at all of you. And Korshana, now that you have a chance to see her up close, her eyes belay the fact that they're kind of slitted and yellow and seem a little more familiar than you want them to be.
Okay.
And she smiles. So this is where the esteemed druids live. How wonderful. She's kind of looking around. And her gaze settles back on the Archdruid. I believe you have been here for quite some time. Is that correct? And your father responds, yes. Me specifically, I've been here for, I think it's about 100 years or so.
He's human. My dad's human.
Yeah, but he's our Archdruid, right?
Oh, fuck, that's right. Okay.
The Enclave has been here for, a couple of centuries now. And we have worked with the Corellin followers to make sure that we protect your portal as necessary. Ah, yes. Such a brave and noble cause. I believe your daughter, Korshana, has been one of them. Is that correct? As she turns to look at you.
Yes, for 12 years.
Wonderful. I believe you have also visited the summer court, have you not, Korshana?
I sure have.
And how did you like it?
It was very interesting.
Ah, fascinating.
Exactly.
How long were you in the summer court for?
I believe it was about 40 years. I didn't count the days.
Mm. You still look quite young for one who's been there for such a long time.
You of all beings would know the power of Fey magic.
Yes, that is true.
It appears I did not age while I was living in the summer fields.
Quite a boon, then, would it not be?
Some would say that.
Yes, some would indeed say that. As the Corlin priests are both just kind of looking at you quizzically. Well, I wish to see more of this enclave, shall we?
Please let us show you around.
Your father is like, yes, of course. Right this way. Noah, you can see all this, yes. Most of you can see it. Nim just can't because his perception is terrible.
He's fucking.
Is there? Is there? They like kind of like lead themselves off, right?
Your father turns and like starts walking, expecting them to follow him.
Can Korishana turn around and see if she can make eye contact with Priya and Pin?
Yeah. Are you trying to do it stealthily or not?
Yes, I'm trying to be chill about it, and if I can't make eye contact with them, I'm going to stop trying.
So you're just gonna two like a little quick glance just to see who else is there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. You'll catch them
when
both. Go ahead.
When I spot them, I just stick my tongue out at them quick. And then I go back to being all serious.
Priya is like, and Pin is just like, so your father turns and walks around the enclave and starts talking about the people that are here, what they do here, how long they've been here, which, I mean, he's mentioned a few times, the duties that they've been entrusted with by the Corlin followers, and any questions that she might have in terms of what to expect or what druids do in general, if she needs to know that, or any other odd questions that she might have. She just asks in general about how they came to have this agreement, how many guardians they've had, whether they enjoy the agreement, in which your father is like, it's to the benefit of both, of course. So we understand that we need to give to help stay in good standing, and also that we wish to make sure we do what we can to cleanse the forest as necessary. And the Eladrin was like, very good, nice, or very nice answers. Wonderful, of course. So they continue to walk through the enclave. And as they pass by your house in particular, she stops. Oh, do you happen to have any food prepared? I've heard human food is quite delectable. And your father's like, of course, I can have my wife cook something up real quick. It should take about 20-30 minutes. Is that okay? Of course. Take all the time you need. And while that your mother just like bolts into the house. It's like, all right, time to cook. While she stays outside with your father and just starts talking with him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to leave Papa's side, and I'm not going to speak unless spoken to. Is basically my plan at the moment.
Well then, Korshana, how have you been? It has been quite some time since we've talked.
I guess it has been a little while. We are, my group of friends and I are traveling.
Yes. And how is that going? How is Nim doing?
Uh, I, I think Nim should speak for himself. Sorry, Tig.
Oh, well then where is he?
Wherever he is, Korshana's like, here.
I agree. Yeah, throw him under the bus. No big deal.
Oh, he is right over there, of course. And she points right through the crowd.
I mean, Tig, do you want me to speak on your character's behalf? Because I feel like that's lame. So get over here.
Do whatever's in character.
Yeah, I mean, I actually feel like Korshana would be like, Nim's not here, but we're not gonna do that. So get over here.
Do whatever. Okay. You're calling him over there?
Mhm.
Okay.
As she like pointed in the direction where the fam or where the villagers have been standing, and like they all part immediately, and there's just Nim standing there, and she's like,
You knew he was here, so no point in skirting around the matter.
that is true. Come, Nim. We haven't talked in a while. And now the Corlin priests are really concerned.
Yeah, they probably.
So's
should be.
Korshana,
I think
visibly
everyone is.
concerned.
I don't think he's figured out yet, unless he can tell that's Marty.
As
just
soon as
from-
like she looks and stares and points at you, you're like, that's the Summer Prince.
2 words.
That's bad.
Fuck.
Okay.
While her attention is away, Korshana, your father grabs your hand and squeezes it.
I'm going to casually mind link with my dad
Okay.
and just see if he says anything.
I don't. Do they know when that's happening? If you don't say anything, I don't think he would know that's up.
Hi.
Ah. What's going on?
Danger. Lots of it.
Is this the one?
Mm-hmm.
I thought you said it was a half dragon.
Fey shit.
Yeah, that's true.
Careful, Papa.
Well, you know me. I'm always careful.
She will spend as much of this conversation staring at her and her father's joined hands as she can without being totally weird.
So Nim, what do you do?
I guess he has to come over there.
Hello, Nim.
What was the name they introduced? I'm gonna have to go back and read again. What was the fake name?
Korahisa?
Cora Isa.
Korahisa.
Hi.
Because, you know,
Korahisa.
Korra names.
He's a really Marty.
Korahisa, was it?
Yes.
Is there something I can help you with?
I'm just quite fascinated about how you're doing.
I'm sure you are.
Still alive and well?
Yes. So you are too, apparently.
Of course I am. Why wouldn't I be? I'm not the one who snubbed the queen.
I don't really have a good answer for that. Not wrong.
All eyes at this point are on you, Nim.
I don't have anything for that. Sorry, I literally can't think of anything. I don't have an answer for that.
Stunned into silence. Amazing.
We've been busy.
That you have. Why don't we see how the food is going then? She turns and starts moving for your house.
Mama will come out when the food is ready.
Oh no, I think I will go inside.
All right, Papa's getting practically dragged into the house as close behind her as we possibly can be. Yeah.
The guards that are there just all kind of like stationed around the house. The your satyr and dryad friend move towards the house as well. The rest of them just kind of like start dancing with the rest of the villagers.
Korshana will look to spot Noah and ask them to at least come closer, if not come inside.
Okay, yeah, he'll do that. He'll
Bring
follow them
Lowell.
inside. And bring Lowell, yeah, he'll hold it. Korshana wants them inside.
So I will nomer her as Issa. That way we don't have to keep saying Kor Issa. So Issa will walk inside the house, and you can hear your mom like, "Oh, it's not ready. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, it'll be ready in a few minutes. Oh, that's fine."
Yeah, that won't be confusing.
Uh,
Corey, and Cora.
So Issa goes in. Korashana and her father are almost immediately after. The Corlin priest almost immediately after, and then Noah, Nim, and Lowell, you figure out where you're going, and then also a satyr and a dryad make their way inside as well.
Oh, they're coming in.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Kaya Shana is like, I don't quite have, and Esau just kind of like waves her hand and makes a large table inside your house. And you can tell like this is not possible, but if I think about it, I can't really say anything.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, well, okay, cool. All right, well, I guess everything's set in place and tables are ready. Food will be ready in 10 minutes. And then Issa will turn and make her way to one end of the table, surrounded by the two Corlin priests. And then there's enough room for all of you, plus like 2 extra seats. So you all figure out how you want to sit down. Your father sits at the other end of the table.
I would like to sit close to him and leave room for Mama at the head of the table as well.
I mean, because there are going to be seats on either side. So if he sits at the head of the table, you can have one of them.
Me and Mama will sit across from each other.
Priya takes one of the seats next to you, and then
I give her a side hug.
Pan takes a seat after that, and Priya like hugs you. He's like, "I missed you so much."
It's been a minute.
I didn't know you knew the Summer Prince.
I didn't really see him much when we were in the Summerfield.
Him?
Them? I said them. I definitely said them.
Okay.
I don't really like gender pronouns. It's just not my thing anymore.
That's fine. That's fine. Strange. How's the food here?
My mom is pretty talented, but it is human food, so it's a little different.
Oh, that's okay. Human food can be good sometimes.
But she's a pretty good cook.
As long as it doesn't have any, what do you call them? Onions?
I don't know how my mama cooks, but I'm gonna say to Priya, you better take your chances.
Lowell, Nim, and No, where do you guys sit?
I don't even know.
I don't know, but wherever Noah is sitting, I was about to type this out since you're being, but I would like to put the bag with him at his feet and kind of whisper beg, please don't make a noise or move.
Oh, Noah.
Until I say it's okay.
This is Issa. How is Im doing?
I'm sorry, who?
Oh, Noah. You know who I'm talking about.
and is doing great.
Are you still taking care of her?
Yes.
You know I gave you that dragon for a reason, right?
Do you mind
Oh, you
reminding
want me to repeat myself?
or you know what? You're right. That would be incredibly rude to the memory. Let's just say that I remember.
Hopefully you don't have her locked up in your factory.
Well, she was supposed to. She had a job to do. So
Such a shame keeping one creature so beautiful chained up.
yeah, it is. Almost as borderline cruel.
What was that? Sorry. All right. Wow.
Sorry, that was my brother's partner. The walls are like this thick.
Tell them they were amazing.
I will. I'll let them know.
And Lowell, how is your family doing?
Mhm. They're gone.
Yes, but you still live on. You can make a new family.
At some point.
You know, the queen is eagerly watching, anticipating when that will be.
Sure she is.
You wouldn't want to disappoint her, would you, Lowell?
It's not something that you can just drop everything and start a family with uh, just like that.
Oh, I don't know. You can spend some time in the Fey world. We can take care of that for you.
Doesn't quite sound like the kind of family I had in mind, though.
How unfortunate. And it's about this time your mom's like, all right, food's ready. We're just we'll serve our people around here. We'll plate for you.
Cortana helps her.
Plate for you. Plate for you. Thank you, honey. Plate for you. Wonderful food. Wonderful. I know it's just human food, but it's what we got here. I did the best I could on a short notice. And Issa's like, oh, of course. I appreciate what it is you do for you, everyone here.
Mama's very special.
She is. Just as special as her daughter, is she not?
I just meant she's a great cook.
Of course. I see. And what do you call this delightful meal? As I just run myself into a corner to figure out what I am going to call it. Shepherd's pie. She cooked shepherd's pie.
Yes! Oh, okay, fair. Adobo sounds good though now.
Uh, did you cook a shepherd in it?
No, we don't eat people.
Ah, yes, of course. That would be cruel. Of course not.
Certainly.
You would not eat anybody else. Just animals,
Just a deer. I killed this one
regardless of
myself.
how sentient they might be.
A deer.
Mm. And back to Nim, since you were so awestruck before, how is your new life treating you?
Fine, thanks.
I see Keithra is doing well too.
Yes, she is.
Keithra is just like gripping the shit out of her food and just like
Yeah.
like trying her best not to say anything because she's caught on to what's happening here.
I don't mean to be rude, but would you like to get to the point?
I mean, the point is, are the questions I am asking. It is just curiosity why you would drop one Fey Pact and get another.
I was made a better offer.
Oh,
You of all people should know how these pacts work.
I see. And burn the bridges, as it were.
Do you
I
want to
believe that is
clarify?
one of your human sayings.
It is. Would you like to clarify?
Oh, if you wish, I could. Would you like everyone else to hear what you did?
Shit. Not.
You know, for one of your nature, as the line hums, your diplomacy is still lacking.
Bit of a low blow. Uh. Again, if there's something you want from us, you can just come out and say it.
I wish I do not need anything from you. All of you have already made your deals. I am simply here to observe.
Nim, the Enclave is grateful for the protection of the followers of Corlon. They should not be disrespected.
Good point.
Just as I'm sure the followers of Corlon are very grateful to the Enclave for providing guardians to the portals.
Of course. Because if they did not provide the guardians, we never would have met Korshana. We never would have realized what sort of gifts that you have.
I suppose that is the case. Gifts you're very familiar with.
I am. Aren't they wonderful?
It has been most important, one of the most important things in my life, yes.
Mm. It would be such a tragedy to lose it.
I'm familiar with what that would feel like, yes.
Especially for a long time. Not knowing if you would get it back.
Are you trying to make me recall memories? Because I recall them every day.
Mm. I'm just curious how that felt because I've never had that feeling before.
No one has ripped your guide from you?
No.
Hmm.
No one is powerful enough to do that.
That you know of?
Ah, that is true.
I would have said the same thing 40 years ago.
See, the Fae can show you new, wonderful things.
Wonderful. I'm filled with wonder, yes, that is accurate.
Mm. And you are not the only one here that has that ability. Me notwithstanding.
I'm the only one who matters.
Ah, I see.
I mean, notwithstanding yourself, of course.
Of course.
I'm curious what kind of guidance you receive, but I have a feeling you're not going to tell me. I know so much about you, you know, or you know so much about me, I know so little about you.
I understand that it is not so much guidance, but visions into another world.
You see no message in these visions.
No. It is as if I am
Fascinating.
looking through the eyes of another. What messages would you
Mhm.
draw from that?
Apparently none.
Hmm. That is not what I've heard about you, Korshana. It sounded like you were on a mission.
So I said, apparently you see none.
So it sounds like we see two different things, you and I.
Well, I'm sure your queen can tell you all about what I see, so would you
Oh,
like to
she
share what
has.
you see?
Very
Even the playing
similar.
field. Yeah.
A war, death, atrocities. But it's not so much the war that intrigues us. It is the realm in which it occurs. And these visions do not haunt you, do they? No, they would not. Otherwise, you wouldn't be so mad about losing them.
Mad is not the right word, but I take your meaning.
Though I am very curious, how do you know that the one who's showing you the visions is not, for the lack of a better term, is not truly alive? You could be seeing the visions of someone who has already passed.
Call it faith.
Ah, yes, faith. A very much human emotion. Very fascinating. Something that we Fae are very, very understanding of, especially when they cannot see us, but they believe in us.
The followers of Coralon have a lot, I'm sure, a lot to say about faith.
Well, it's
And
not
look
so
where
much.
their faith has brought you.
It is not so much faith for them as they see us. They can understand us. We converse with them.
Quite a power,
Yes.
understanding you.
Well, understanding the Fae, somewhat. Maybe not understanding me.
Fair?
A power that you were given and yet refused. And that's for all of you, not just you, Korshana.
Sorry, which?
When your friend Nim rejected the queen.
Uh-huh. Sorry, that's supposed to be our loss.
Of course it is. All the things that we could have shown you in the summer court. All the options that you could have had. You've made a few friends, I see. as she motions to Priya and Prim.
Indeed.
Do they know?
What?
Do they know which side you're on?
Carlos at Priya.
Priya looks back at you and is like, what is he talking about? Or what is she talking about?
Seems like a no.
So
Maybe
you
he's
are
been-
hiding it from her.
I haven't had the chance to speak to her yet.
Well, she is right here, by all means.
Also, not my story to tell.
Surely it is not yours. Then whose is it?
Marshawn looks at Nim. Sorry, dude, it's your fucking choice.
I know. That's true. I don't know, is he supposed to just come out and say it? Okay. Let's do this then. Lowell wants him to tell the truth, so I guess he can turn to Korshana's friend who doesn't know who they are, but he can say, well, I'm the Winter Prince.
At that, the Corlin priests are just like, excuse me?
I thought it was pretty straightforward.
And Issa is just laughing. You know, surely you must be joking.
Why would I joke about that?
Yeah.
Well, we should go. This is probably not the best of times. In fact, this is probably a really bad time to be in here. And Issa's like, oh no, let's stay. I'm enjoying this. They have this awkward like, fuck, okay. Your friends, Korshana, if you look at them, look horrified.
We are all just pawns in a larger game, my loves.
I was wondering why you were so cold to the touch.
That's new.
Oh, that's bad. We technically can't. Oh, I don't know if I should say it. Issa's like, oh no, go on, please. Everybody's being truthful and honest here. Why not the rest of us? And Priya's like, we shouldn't be seen with you. Ever.
That's safer for you.
But that's terrible.
I didn't choose it. I also didn't choose to come live with you.
No, but you're really nice when you did.
And if you have to go to protect yourselves, then go with my love.
Well, I don't think the Summer Prince is going to let us leave this table, but I understand what you mean.
I already missed you. I can continue to miss you. I don't have to like it.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, this is a lot to take in.
Go home and make some trouble.
Of course, that's duh.
I'll stay here and make some trouble of my own.
Well, if you stop being part of them, give us a call, yeah?
Anytime. That doesn't work here though, so I'd have to come close.
I mean, you know where to find us.
Yeah.
Issa then speaks up. Oh, but that might be some time for them. Isn't that right, Nim?
You seem to know an awful lot.
Call it conjecture, based on what you stated. You were given a better offer.
Yes.
For that better offer to be valid, there must be something that you were given, some sort of power, as it were. But there's surely no way that you understand how to use it now. Or if you do, barely. Am I wrong?
I know enough.
Oh, so cocky. Enough to do what, Nim?
That's not something I need to tell you.
Now you're learning. You know, Delphina was trying to teach you how to be a fae. See how that turned out for her?
What happened to her?
Oh, don't worry about that.
Yeah, like that's not ominous.
I mean, I have to say it like that, Nim. That's just part of the job. You don't even know what she wants you for, do you?
The Winter Queen?
Yes.
What do you think she wants me for?
This is an interesting little pause we have here. Do I tip my hand first or do you? How about this? Why do you think she was so interested in you and how she got a hold of you so easily?
I think you'd kind of side glance to Noah for a second on that one, but I don't know if he knows that.
I can give you a hint, Nim. You tell me what she told you, and I can tell you what she really wants.
And what reason do I have to believe that what you told me is true?
Has anything I said a lie up until this point?
Not currently, but
There you go.
you've been deceptive in the past.
I have. And I've got what I wanted in the past. Now I'm just enjoying this.
Remind me again, real quick, what Issa specifically wants to know, just so I
Uh,
can.
what she told you about what she wants from you.
Funny thing is, I felt like Nim already basically said that, so it's not like it's like a secret, but it's more the audience that's here than.
Yep.
Yeah, it's less about what it is and more about who can hear it.
Yep. Exactly it.
Not gonna sound good in front of the Corlon people.
I mean, at this point, everything it's already been tits up at this point.
Yeah, why not dig a deeper hole? Uh, well, I thought I made it pretty obvious, but if you'd like me to say it again, I can.
I do. I want to see the priest here squirm.
Hmm.
As long as they understand that my friend Nim here is not a member of this enclave.
Hmm. I would like to think they believe that, but I don't know for sure.
Korshana will look at them. Regardless of these conversations, the deal between the enclave and the followers of Corlan must stand.
I guess, but you're part of the Winter Court now.
Not by choice, and not by the choice of the Archdruid of the enclave.
Well, then I believe he understands what he would need to do to make sure that we understand that they're not associated with that.
State your meaning. You wish for me to never return?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Those terms are agreeable.
Your father's like, I mean, wait, we don't have to go that far, maybe? Like somewhere in between? Maybe not come back for like however long she's part of this? Does that work? And the Corlin priests think on that for a little bit. Perhaps exiled until further notice. We can
Agreeable.
have a, all right, done. Your
I
father's
do
like,
not intend to be a member of any court for very much longer, so.
no, okay. All right. But yes, I need to exile my daughter. That's a little awkward.
Papa,
Yeah,
you know how important their protection is?
you're my daughter. I'm not gonna.
Would you like Corisa here to tell you what she would do if this deal no longer stood?
Oh, I wouldn't do anything, darling. I'm just here to listen.
And those you command?
Those I command is in the Fae.
Of your court?
Yes. They do what they wish.
Except they don't break the deal that we have with the followers of Coralon.
Mm-hmm. But that's between you and the
Exactly.
Corlin.
Well, we have a deal, so Nim, feel free to speak.
If you're sure. Well, this certainly isn't going to sound great, but my job is to kill the Summer Prince.
What? Like one of them just slams on the table. That's preposterous. You should not even be here. You should not be allowed to do anything. That's ridiculous. Why would you even think that's okay? Especially when we came here as honored guests and you're going to just come out and say that?
As I've made it quite clear, statements of my friend here do not reflect on the Enclave.
This is ridiculous. Why would you let us in here just to say something like that?
You followed Corisa where she went.
Yes, she is part of the summer court. That is our job.
Carisa's the one who wanted me to tell you.
It's between the two of them.
It's Faye business.
He sits back down, and Issa again is just laughing.
Obviously, nobody's killing anybody right now, so I think you can calm down a little bit.
Oh no, the Corons are a bit uptight. They don't tend to calm down. So it makes it so fun to tease. Ah, Nim. Ah, Nim. She doesn't really care if that happens or not. She wants something else. She wants something that Noah can provide her. She wants the Void Shard.
The what?
The Void Shard. You should ask Noah
Does that
about what
sound
she got
familiar?
in the north.
Yeah. Fuck.
I out of character think I know what it is, but in character, no idea.
That's what Noah went on a mission for, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I assume it's the
To the north,
crystal
that's
that
what-
gave you the future
yeah.
vision.
In fact, Nim, your mother helped him.
Yeah,
Does
I
Noah
was,
recognize it by this name?
No.
Okay, so okay.
I am aware of that.
I would be a little concerned about what she's going to do when she gets it.
Oh, so it's called the Void Shard.
Mm-hmm. I would be even more concerned as to why she got all four of you together.
You seem to have a guess. Care to share it with us?
She's using you, Nim. It's as simple as that.
Sorry, is that supposed to be news?
Nim was the one who said he got a better deal. But I could promise you that being the knight on the summer side was not nearly as bad as being a tool for the queen directly herself.
I'm sorry. You're saying that being the prince is a bad deal?
Yes. And Nim has no
Seem-
idea.
Seems pretty comfortable to me.
Does it?
Does your queen know you feel that way?
Yes, she does.
Just checking.
I provide her what she needs, and she provides me what I need.
Sounds like an utterly delightful existence.
Oh. When you have lived as long as I have, you would understand more. But I don't think Nim has that luxury or that understanding.
How old did you say you were again?
Oh, a lady never tells.
I mean, I'm 67. Go ahead.
I don't know if I would consider you that much of the lady,
Oh, interesting.
though.
I don't know, I wouldn't consider Issa here to be much of one either.
Now. We could fall into juvenile retorts at this point, but I feel like that would be a waste of time.
You're going through an awful lot of trouble to warn us about this. Considering I
And
snubbed the queen, you shouldn't be helping me at all.
why do you think I care about what you do when you're the Winter Prince?
It's because it's your life on the line there.
Also because you're the Winter Prince.
I don't think I follow.
I, just like my queen, just like the rest of the summer court, don't have a particular love for the winter court. So if I can explain more explicitly what it is that their tools are being used for and get them to instead perhaps do something else, it benefits everyone.
Well, why? Can I ask why the two courts are at odds? Is that just the nature of it?
That is just the nature of it, my friend.
Well, damn.
Why are good and evil at odds? Why are law and chaos at odds? It just is how it is.
Well, those are kind of intangible.
Hmm?
So it's always been this way.
Summer and winter cannot be in the same existence. Therefore, they must strike a balance. Just like light and darkness, just like good and evil, just like law and chaos.
Would you say everything is currently in balance right now?
No.
Skewed in whose favor?
If you continue down this path, it is skewed in the winter's favor. What do you
And
think
right
the
now?
queen right now? Give or take. But I'm not looking at right here now. I'm looking at the future. I know you've seen it, Noah. I know you've seen what it can do. What do you think the queen would do with it?
Hmm. Honestly, I'm not really sure. I don't know anything about what you Faye are up to at any given time, and I
That's fair.
don't. I'm done with my conceit and thinking that I could ever figure it out.
I would only say look into what you have seen so far. You're a smart man. You can make conjectures based off of that.
Thanks for the advice. I was already doing that, but
Forgive me for I'm not the smartest person in the universe, but can you
Yeah.
explain to me how that tracks? We hurt you, Winter Queen gets Void Shard. Those two things don't seem to be related.
So the easy explanation is she's lying to you, darling. She doesn't think you can kill me. She just needs you to get the void shard.
So why hasn't she directed us to do that?
Why would she?
How would we know to do it?
Because that is on the path you are already on. It's going to take you quite some time to get up to where I am, if I may be a little egotistical right now.
there's the prince we know.
I wasn't particularly worried about that.
Of course not. Why worry when you can live forever, Nim? The question is, will your companions be okay with that? I know you can already see it. They're changing just as much as you are.
Undo that.
Sorry, what did you say?
He said I can't undo that.
You can. You drop the pact, it goes away. Just like you dropped our pact. Should be very simple for you, in fact.
Don't think I can just drop it. I replaced one with another.
Oh, well, then there you go. Find another pact. Seems to be what you want to do.
Do you know any Celestials?
How about a great old one or two?
That's the next question.
An undying, maybe?
Isn't there like a devil pack too?
Fiend.
Ah, there, yeah.
Yeah. Uh, you're saying I find someone or something else to replace the pact?
Very bluntly, yes. I believe your companions would be more happy for that.
I don't doubt that.
I mean, or it's worse. Or wait to know.
I mean, or we could decide as a group.
That would probably go better than the last few times.
It's a learning process, of course. You know, you work through a couple packs, you'll understand how you do the next one better. Surely nothing can go wrong, Nin.
Appreciate the advice.
Like I said, I take you away from the Winter Queen, it works for me. I don't care what you do after that.
I don't know if I believe you.
Again, when have I told the lie at this point? I've been pretty honest this entire time at this table.
And you've been pretty involved in getting the majority of my family killed off.
Your family wronged me, and I've taken care of that. I don't care what you do.
You want to go into more detail? What exactly did they do?
Does this have to do with you being half dragon?
Ooh, your companion is smart.
I have above average intelligence.
Probably much farther away than you would remember, although you weren't really there, Nim. But yes, to be blunt, your father killed mine, and so I made him pay for it.
If I make a wild guess and I'm right, will you tell me?
Only if you tell me why you didn't want to stick around when I came to visit you. Back, she's basically talking about when you're in the summer court.
Why I never came to see Marty while I was living in the summer court?
No, she has visited you in this form, and you didn't recognize it until up until this point.
Right. Sure, that's a question I can answer. Me first,
Right.
though.
Go for it.
This is your original form, isn't it?
Ooh, that's not part of the question, though.
I said I'd make a wild guess, and you had to tell me if I was right or not.
That's true. I thought you were going to make a wild guess about my parent, but that's fair. No, this is technically not my original form.
So you were born a woman?
Perhaps. Now you must answer my question.
Why I did not come see you in this form? I did
Why
not
you
know it
didn't-
was you.
Why you didn't stay around when I visited you? You always seem to evade me for some reason.
Unintentional.
Heartbroken. You're such a
I simply
fascinating.
did not know you were important.
Oof. I told you I was one of the queen's favorites. That's so harsh. The fun times
It's
we
the
could have
truth.
had together, Coruscant.
I'm curious the name of your guide, but I doubt I'm going to get that, am I?
Have you ever thought about what it would be with someone else who understands exactly what you understand?
I think I know.
Mm-hmm. Curiosity strikes me, sure.
The option is always there.
I'm not sure I know what that means.
Well, if you want me to be more crude about it, I'm willing to stick around for your sake.
How would that benefit me?
Because I just asked you if you were curious about what it would be like with somebody who understands what you understand. And you said yes.
So, in exchange for a companion who is also has a quarry, I get what?
Or therefore lack of
I have a companion who is very, very powerful and has lots of sway.
I'm sure if you read it.
And again, I get what?
I can offer you protection from the queen if you wish.
Somehow I doubt that.
Why?
You could have protected me before you made the move to do so.
Right?
I could have, but I didn't really understand who you were at the time, and now I do.
To be honest, I wish to free myself of both courts, so I'm not sure your offer appeals.
Mm. I can make it that, I mean, once you're done with the pact, you wouldn't be part of either court. And if you wish a companion who is not Fey, then obviously that's not something I can help with. But I can say that you wouldn't be involved in politics if you wish.
I just can't imagine that that's true. I mean, I think that you're telling me the truth as far as you understand it. I just don't think you're right.
That's fine. I'm not going to sit
Well,
here and try and force you into something you do not wish.
Supposedly you're going to live until you feel like not living anymore, so perhaps another time.
That is true. I am very patient, and arch druids, from what I understand, live a very long time.
Especially ones with Fey deals.
Mm-hmm.
I apologize. I've derailed this conversation quite far. That's not my intention.
No, I think this is wonderful. You are a fascinating person.
Not really.
Truly, how many of yours do you think are still around?
Few.
Yes. I can tell you it is
And I
only
think-
two in this world.
You mean ours?
Your world. It is
I'm
not
sure
mine.
at this point it's more about who you know than
Can I ask you something?
Of course.
If you know that the Winter Queen wants the Void Shard, why don't you go for it yourself?
I can't.
Does the Summer Queen not want it?
No. You all started something that I cannot interfere in. Sorry. That is more broad than is necessary. You specifically and your companions at the time started something that I cannot interfere in. Neither queen can. You are necessary for this.
You're saying that's why she's trying to have us on her side, so that
Yeah.
once we do go for the void shard, we are in her graces.
Yes. I would even go so as far to say that she would take it from you.
What does it do?
I don't know the exact details, but based on its name alone, and from what I've seen, it can wipe out whatever you wish.
Did you say what you have seen?
Yes. You think Nim is the only one who could walk through time? Please.
Do you have any recollection of the past Summer Prince?
No.
Do I believe Marty? Yes, sir. Sorry.
I mean, you can roll an insight check.
It's gonna go so great, guys.
You
18.
don't
It's
think
actually not
she's
that bad.
lying. In fact, she will continue. I think whoever it was tried to take the shard, and Paradox removed them.
Didn't I ask about the previous summer prince?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
the one
uh-oh.
before Marty.
That's not good because that sounds just like the Winter Prince story.
I thought the Winter Prince story was he went too far back in time.
I mean, that sounds like a speculation, but both previous princes on both sides, nobody can remember who they are and they got paradoxed out. It's a little weird.
That's why the queen is being very particular this time around.
So I just don't see how any of us are special enough to be the ones who can pick it up.
You interacted with it.
Well, this also isn't my original body, so
Correct. I do not know enough about it, but I believe it has something to do with the original ones that interacted with it in some fashion. That's why the queen needed you specifically to start this.
Hmm.
And if you would look at the memory and explain to the others, you would find that they're all related.
out of character. He has explained it though, right?
I think
Yes.
just to Nim.
No, that we were all in the room together, and he was asking them about.
Maybe. It's been a while.
He
You
was
told
asking them
everybody,
because
because you told Lowell
Yeah, 'cause
about the
he's-
shifter.
Yeah.
yeah,
And
'cause
Korshana was
I
trying
asked,
to check if there was a Kalishtar there, but her roll didn't work out.
Yeah, I tried to memory walk with Noah to
Yeah.
find that out, and
Yeah.
I failed.
Yep, that sounds right.
Yeah, I was during our downtime. That 2
Yes,
months.
Yeah, in the tavern, yeah. Go back in time, watch the bot.
At this point, Kayashana will get up and start cleaning up the dishes. And you can see your hands are shaking a little bit.
Noah has barely touched his food.
Yeah.
He won't remove anybody's food that's still sitting there, but she'll like.
Okay, okay.
Most people actually haven't had anything.
Yeah.
And it looks like she was
No,
doing
love-
something to be busy.
Since we're being a little bit more forthcoming than I had originally thought this was going to be, why did you sell him to me?
Have you ever wondered what it's like to be born without a care? To know that there are no fates attached to you, no ties to bind you.
Well, seeing as the only existence that I'm in right now is in quite a heavy destiny, I'm gonna have to say no on that one.
You never thought about it?
I've always wished my life could be that way, but I think my people are just born for ambition.
I saw something in you, Noah. I saw a desire to break past that point. And I saw the idea, even if you didn't have it at the time, of what you're doing right now.
I don't know. I think this conversation is just a little bit heavy. I can't say that I follow.
Im did not live a good life. Especially considering at the end she was chained to protect a factory not of her own and not of her own free will. But I could see that what you would do in the future is to break her from all of that and to give her something that no other red dragon has had.
You're talking about a chance?
Yes.
What is she to you?
She is what I wish I had. So I'm going to warn you. Don't let anything bad happen to her.
It was never my intention to.
And that's why I leave her in your care.
I'm not sure if I like people knowing what I'm going to do because they can travel back and forth between time. I don't
Unfortunately,
say
that is just what I have and who I am. I cannot change that.
that's fair.
But if it makes you feel any better, Noah, I am only trying to change your course of actions based on the here and now, not based on what I've seen. Because I understand that some of you mortals do not believe in fate and believe in your own destiny.
Timelines are a funny thing, to say the least.
Timelines are dangerous.
Sure. You hear that one, Nim?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Oh,
Just checking.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Oh. You hate me for what I've done and who I am, Nim, and I don't blame you for that. But I don't think you want to continue down this path the way you are right now.
Again, it seems like you're going through an awful lot of trouble to warn us, and I think I need to see some of these things for myself.
Do you trust me? I can walk you through them.
Trust you? Absolutely not. But if that's the only way.
She gets up and walks over to you, Nim, and holds out her hand. And everybody's like,
I think he feels a little less in danger on this one. I'll just explain it after, but I think he's gonna go for it.
all right. Oh, fuck.
Let's do
Okay.
this. Were you not expecting him to?
No, I really actually wasn't. All right. Nim and Issa
let's
both
do this.
disappear.
Bye.
How did we? How did we do?
Oh no.
Issa teleports you back to your home. And you see 5 individuals. The 4 of your party plus Kithra storm the house. Find Ortuvia, your other version, and your mother. And they slay Nim, your fake version. And Ortuvia kills your mother and sacrifices herself to grow stronger. You eventually beat it, but your mother never returns. And then he changes to another spot where you're in the factory. Noah version 0.1 has shown up. The 5 of you were caught unprepared. He takes Noah down instantly and absorbs him. The 3 of you defeat him, but Noah's gone. He then changes, or I'm sorry, she changes to another one where it is you, Lowell, and Korshana now. And Kithra, sorry. the you're all trying to help Lowell fight this golden cat shifter. Lying at its feet is what looks to be Lowell's brother. And Lowell transforms into his astral self, and you try your best to help protect him. But the golden cat shifter, one by one, breaks all of his astral arms and then kills him, just rips him in half. And then you, Kithra and Korashana, come back to Korashana's village, and it's just wasted, completely gone. And Korashana, beside herself, just doesn't go anywhere. She stays there. You have to leave her behind eventually because she doesn't move. She doesn't do anything. And you find yourself just wandering Wildemount for years. And then a bomb goes off. And you remember nothing. Or you see nothing. And Issa turns to you and says, "This is the path that you are on right now."
How do you know for sure this is how it would turn out?
Because that is how fate works, Nim. You have to change something monumental for this to change.
If what we have now isn't going to be enough for all of those situations, then I don't know what we could possibly change to avoid that.
You need to leave the Winter Court. I have not looked down that timeline because that choice has not been made. So I cannot, and I might not be able to.
So you don't know if it's any better.
No. Like, how can I?
You have a point.
I will also mention I could remove you right now if I wish, but I do not.
That's what I figured. You wouldn't spend all of that time trying to convince us when you could have easily killed me at any point there.
There's something I need from you. I don't know what it is. So the best I can do is make sure you stay alive.
How do you know you need something from me?
Call it a gut feeling, Nim. I've been alive for a very long time, and I've learned to trust them.
What was your father's name?
Fuck.
Sorry.
God. I think I know. Yeah.
Just go to
Horatio.
dragon name.
Oh shit, really?
Yep.
Can I
Interesting.
find Nidhogg
Okay.
too? At least FF14 dragon.
Oh, that one definitely
Yeah.
is.
Chris Lagar is. I don't know why it came up in my head, but it did. He's not even close to a red dragon. That's the best part.
Yeah. These are like popular Norse dragons.
Yeah.
I love the names though.
The other choice is Midgard. Midgard Summer. Oof, what a
Stop.
mouthful.
Whenever I think of Midgard Summer, I think me like
I lashed out at your father, Nim. I mean, what child wouldn't? I wanted him to suffer.
I can't say I disagree with the logic, or I wouldn't be here right now like this.
I will tell you that I cannot walk all the timelines because, again, they have not been chosen. But I believe none of them are. I believe there are some of them that are not as dark as this one.
That also a gut feeling you have?
Yes. I can say that I've watched your companions try to fight their struggles on their own and fail horribly.
I'm not gonna let them do this on their own.
That is what parties are for. Is there anything else you wish to see, or shall I bring you back before your companions have a heart attack?
Well, before you bring us back, I don't know if I'll regret saying this, but I appreciate the honesty. And I'm aware that my father's choices were not always right, as much as he may have thought they were. And it's clear I don't know the full story of what happened there.
You have something I have not been able to attain ever as long as I've been alive, and that is free will. Even if it pulls you in the wrong direction, even if you make the poor decisions, you can still make them. I envy that about you, about mortals.
Has it always been that way for you?
Yes.
Is there any way to change that?
I could cease to be, then I won't have any choices. But that would be silly.
Anything a little less morbid?
Don't turn, Faye, Nim, because you will lose that.
Noted.
And she teleports you back. For the rest of you, it was like 5 seconds.
And he looks
Alright.
shaken by what he saw.
Are you okay?
He sits at the head of the table again.
What happened?
We need to talk later.
Don't we always?
Well, this was enlightening to say the least. I
Indeed.
Flung me forward. How do you do that?
think I will take my leave of you all, and I believe the Corellan followers will stand by their binding. Or, sorry, stand by their agreement. But I also believe that means that you all will need to leave by the night.
And so we will.
She then stands up. The two Corellan priests stand up. Prim and Priya stand up. Everybody stand
Well,
up.
can I get? Will they give me hugs?
Yeah.
Priya and Pin.
Oh,
All right. Corshana will.
I said forward,
Say
not
goodbye to
on the
them.
line.
They both give you long-lasting hugs, and you can tell
Somebody
both
tried
of
to
them
grab
are really
me.
sad.
Fuck! Fuck!
Yeah, I mean, so's Cora, but she'll just whisper in each of their
Fucking
ears,
grab me.
make extra trouble for me.
Always, darling.
Stupid.
And the entourage will walk out, leaving the rest of you in the house. And as they leave, the table disappears and all the plates fall to the floor.
Ah, shit.
Uh,
I'll help
Magic.
Mama clean up.
And you can
Yeah,
hear,
we'll help clean up.
Kind of hear as they're walking out.
God damn it. Did you make it? Josh? Oh, okay.
Well, for somebody who was not originally supposed to be Fae, Marty seems to have taken to his other half very well.
I think Corisa is a closer approximation to who that person is than Marty at this point. Irrelevant. Sounds like we have to leave before the night's over. So
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Tell me when you
Is
want
it
to
like-
leave them.
is it like noon? Didn't they come in the morning?
It's near evening at this point.
Netflix
Okay,
has the
okay,
rights
okay.
to
At some
make a
point,
Legend of
and you're
Zelda.
like, "That's not right. We lost time somewhere, and I don't know where it is."
Yeah.
Considering who we were with, that's
It's,
not
no,
surprising.
That's how they work.
I think before we leave, you should at least say your goodbyes.
Altered Carbon was fucking
Yeah,
great. They're
that's
like,
my plan.
Suit.
Yeah. Korshana will go somewhere with her parents.
Oh, we're gonna cancel.
I mean, they're cleaning up the dining room floor.
Especially
Yeah,
being
I
that
mean,
they
I'm
wouldn't
helping,
show
so
it
I guess
be
that works.
Yeah.
With the cast as they want, because the premises is people can switch
I
bodies.
guess we have to
I'm like-
go.
Why did you agree to that? Why couldn't we at least talk about it?
You expect me to put the lives of everybody else here at
No, but at
risk?
least let us give
Nice.
us a chance, woman. Like we didn't
Right.
even we couldn't even get an
Send
edge
her
in
the
word wise,
upfront.
and you're just like agreed. Like, you're my daughter. I'm not gonna exile you.
Now your reward or torture.
Well,
is
you don't
get
have to.
play
I'll leave.
Jump Showdown. I don't mind it.
I'll just leave.
I don't mind this one at all. I just like to stay far
Kinda
away
have
from
to,
people.
though. Like we just did it in front of the Summer Prince and apparently the Winter Prince.
Well, when they come, well, yeah, but the Winter Prince travels with me, so that's not really news. Or I guess I travel with him. Whatever, it's not important.
He's the one who's really in charge.
It. I don't. You saw how negatively they reacted to the truth of us. Look, I have spent enough time to get to know some regular ass Fae very well, and they're harmless, but they're not, and
Oh,
you
shit.
guys won't survive here if they're purposefully fucking with you.
Tell me one thing. If you get buddy with
Well,
Faye,
not the
I still have a
fucking music
grandchild.
for this.
Sorry, you cut out. What'd you say?
If you get buddy with Faye, can I still have a grandchild?
I think the red guy.
I have every intention of giving you grandchildren, but I
Good.
don't intend to do it while I'm mixed up with either of these courts. So all the more reason
You got fucking
for
jacked.
me to come back when
I was
I'm
just
not
about to
mixed up
say
with
it.
this anymore.
I was just about to say the red guy was the guy being.
Well, I'll just point it out that if you're still exiled when you have a child, just like hand it off at a drop box. We'll pick it up at the drop box. We'll take it back to the enclave. We'll take care of it.
Mama, you would raise the most wonderful grandchild. I have faith in this.
Good.
Much better than me, that's for sure.
I think you'll be fine.
But you know, Papa gave me this neat little scrying crystal, so I'll check up on you and Papa can check up on me.
Oh yeah, I guess he could, couldn't he? You know I can.
Thanks, Papa. I'm glad you're safe.
I'm just gonna point out it's been one hell of a week.
Oh, connection
Being
error.
here after
Yeah.
a couple of years and then exile you at the end of the week is kind of been a roller
Yep.
coaster.
Fuck.
Is it really sad that I'm not really that surprised by this turn of events?
Oh, that's right.
I honestly don't know if I could really put emotions to that.
This might be the least bad thing that's happened to us in the last 6 months.
That's crazy.
It doesn't feel good, but it feels like you're safe, so.
Well, you know me. I am an ouch druid after all. Yeah.
Yeah, watch out for any version of the Summer Prince. He seems to have an interest in Mama. I'm trying to keep him on
Just
my
keep
trail
everyone
instead,
up
but
and hop on
He's
the
not going to get sliding in on my woman. That's not going to happen.
that's the
Dinosaur
Papa I know
hot
and
dog,
love.
hot dog, woolly mammoth hot dog.
You two take care of each other, and
course.
she will give them extremely long hugs.
They will give you extremely long hugs back.
All right, let's get out of we're going to get out of here before I get upset about this.
Okay. Anybody else doing anything?
Lil would have just
Getting our
been
stuff.
Lil would have just been helping clean up and trying to stay out of their way.
Yeah.
So you get to
Yeah.
hear most of that conversation.
Alaska is so desperate for people to fly in airline.
And basically awkwardly cleaning up.
Book a flight now. We'll give you
Just-
5.
Whoa, your Mew
I'm
is showing.
not here.
Like,
You doing or no doing anything?
Not really. Just sitting with him and just thinking about everything that was discussed at
still
This-
fucking
this
news articles
meeting.
and shit of people getting kicked off.
This
of
lower down.
fucking
Yeah.
airlines for fake coughing on people
Yeah.
continuously. I'm good.
Sorry, what?
Are you doing
It's
anything?
pretty busy.
I mean,
Clearly,
staring
our
at a
society
wall or
does not
something.
take it
I don't know.
serious,
He's
so
like
until then,
thinking
I'm
about stuff
not
right
be
now
flying
until
anyway.
someone gets his attention to teleport you guys. He is like not all there.
All right. Floor's open for anybody to do anything.
I think we should go.
No.
What? Sure. Where's M?
Oh, there's no big.
Him's right here.
Guess we can put a hand on M so we don't lose her. And where are we Where are we going again? That might actually be. Where?
Should we head back to my
Maybe we
workshop
should.
for now?
Yeah, because there's a lot that I guess we need to talk about.
Yeah,
Yep, that's home for us, so.
yeah.
Get the black crystal out that helps make that roll not as bad. And put a hand on M and try to teleport to Noah's workshop.
Roll me 1d100.
You got it.
Well,
You're fine.
Okay.
Let me double check. Yeah, you're fine.
Awesome. was a little worried that was kind of low.
That's the lowest you've rolled on that one, I think.
It's fine.
I'm here.
That was
That was crazy.
stressful.
And you can also
3 pages of lore notes I took.
That was great.
Like,
I'm gonna have to go
I-
take more
Shit.
notes.
grab 'em, tap
I'm gonna go
the
back
grab
and take
right
more
before the
notes
jump,
afterward.
and it'll
I
short it.
that was one of those
That's,
things where I was having trouble
we're doing-
keeping taking notes.
Oh no. I did
Yeah.
write all the stuff that from the vision to tell you guys. I was like frantically like, I need this in like 5 minutes.
I got it all too, because I mean, I
Perfect.
can hear it, right? So.
Yeah, I don't usually take notes while I'm talking, but it was like
I was
I
reading
actually
Yeah.
need to be writing this down.
Yeah. I have that same problem. Like, if it's lore is being dumped on my character, I don't fucking write it down because I'm like busy
Yeah.
doing this, and then I'm like,
Yeah.
what important shit did you just tell me?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
You were technically right.
That's why I have to cross-reference with Silent all the time about like all the shit that my amnesia that is coming back, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh fuck.
Well, Aiden, you dodged the bullet. We're never gonna see my mama again, so she's never gonna have to talk with you.
Unless she comes to visit somewhere else, in which case she totally
I know,
can.
that's it.
Move.
Peg was like, they can come visit us, and I was like, I'll just wear a sign on my back for when Papa scries that says like, Papa, come tree stride to me.
It'll be fine.
Yeah. Hey, I was ready for that conversation. That was gonna be funny as hell.
I think it can still
I was
happen.
ready for it.
it should still happen.
I
Sorry
mean,
about
Just
can
that.
you
because I'm
take
making a-
sending? Because I don't know if you know this,
No.
but silence rules on
I'm not
silence rules on sending are very flexible. It's basically like you make a phone call and it lasts as long as you feel like. So
You
you
hang up
can
on
have a
Oh my
full
God.
conversation with my mom via sending if you want.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Dude, I keep sending in all of Sai's games because he lets you do whatever the fuck you want. Like, it's
No
it's
word
good.
limit.
no word limit.
Nope.
It's for
So
the
you
RP.
know.
You don't have to count
Are
20
you
Yeah, it makes for
pooping?
better RP.
Are you
You
pooping?
pooping?
I think I
Oh my
would have.
god, guys.
At
If I had to pick, I would have picked an actual like RP with Korshana's mom rather than like a torrent of sending.
You're gonna get
That's what I'm
you
saying. You'll have
get.
to cast it once. He'll just let you talk.
Oh fuck!
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
like
just a
being on
phone
the
call.
phone.
It's just a phone call.
Oh my god! Unlimited data plan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh god.
It's you or the recipient can cut it off at any time, but it's basically just a phone call.
Okay.
I'm saying. I mean,
Shit.
don't take sending specifically to call my mom, but also if you wanted to, you could.
Not that Noah could. He seems to not have access to the really key spells.
Sending's on your list?
I
No,
don't think.
it's-
Well,
he's an arcane caster, and that's divine.
Well, I don't have sending on my list.
Yeah, I think it's a cleric. It's just cleric, I thought.
Is it only clerics?
one more.
No, because B
what
has
level
it.
spells then?
Magical secrets.
Third? No, but
Oh,
I
don't have.
I don't have- I don't have magical secrets on B yet. We're too low level for that.
Let me see.
One tail one.
D&D Beyond.
Yeah, I know. I'm doing that too.
If you guys aren't afraid of writing your names
Oh,
in
bard, cleric,
names.
wizard, great old one, unity domain.
There you go.
Great old one.
Yeah,
sounds
Nim
like-
could get it.
Yeah, he can. Apparently, we're gonna be looking for a new patron, right?
That's how this game's gonna go down.
Until that one's bad, then we have to find a different one to counteract that pact.
You know what would be hilarious if your celestial patron is the one that you've been making divination calls to?
God.
Ow.
Don't give silent
He's like,
ideas.
"Are you gonna be less of an asshole now that you're actually like pacted to me?" Thanks.
Make a terrible celestial pact.
It's like, will you give
Oh my
me
God.
actual answers this time?
Yeah, please, please.
Yeah, there was nowhere to jump.
Ugh, I'm so glad to be out of my hometown. Oh my god.
So
That
I'm
was-
sorry you got basically banished forever.
That's not how I was expecting it to turn out.
Me either. I honestly didn't occur to me that it could go down that way, but like obviously Corshana was immediately on board with the idea of like, cool, the Fae will basically never come here if I leave forever. Perfect.
Yeah.
I just couldn't see a way for him to not say like the job he has was to kill Marty, because basically if he didn't say it, Marty could just say it. Like there wasn't really a way for him to get out of saying that one.
What I want to know is what difference would having, if you would have stayed the Summer Prince, what difference that would have made on the future?
It's a great question.
Because that should have been a future that he should have been able to tell, because he had made that choice.
I think
Yeah.
it might be gone now that he already left the summer court, so it kind of doesn't matter unless that was somehow an offer to like go back
Yeah.
to being the knight, which did not sound like it was an offer. So I think
Well,
that's just like a gone option.
Hey, you have 2/3 of Marty's true name now. It's 3 letters and then the word Ashana, so you're like almost there.
Nice.
You're like this close.
Ashana?
Nice.
I mean, I think that Marty pretty much was heavily, I mean, wouldn't say it directly, but was
Yeah.
heavily implying.
It super sounded
And-
like it. I've been theorizing that since really early on.
Yeah, given that that Corshana had like visions of the Feywild at the beginning of the game, like sharing Ashana would be a way for that to make perfect fucking sense.
Hmm.
If we had the same quarry, then theoretically I could see through other people's eyes who share a twin spirit, right?
Makes sense.
I mean, we confirmed that Marty was born a woman, so that tracks. Navorn's dragon father, somebody in Ashana's line mother.
So the dragon, the reason I said something when he said the dragon's name, that's the one that they fought, whatever, 22 years ago, the one that stabbed Yara, so.
hmm And Marty became Fae the same way that Nim became Fae. The Summer Queen saw that shit. She was like, I can save you. You're Fae now. Help me stop them from getting the Void Shard.
Yep.
And also tell me about Kalishtar.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that was why
It's like a
Corshana was like,
win-win-win.
I'm a little bit skeptical that you can protect me from Titania when you're basically
Yeah, when he
stuck
said,
because of her fascination with dreamwalking. Like
and he already
that's
said
how
that
you ended up where you are.
being a prince was essentially a mistake or bad, and so it implies that he doesn't have as much control over that kind of stuff as he claimed to.
We just
Oh,
need to get
boy.
away from face stuff. It's bad.
I bet that Marty's birth name is Marashana. Let's just call it out into the universe and see if he appears.
Oh my god.
Marashana? Oh my god.
Right? Marty and Ashana.
Oh, why not? It's
Makes
possible.
perfect sense.
We'll just call her Maruchan then.
Marachan.
Well,
I think that's something that Cora will try too.
I'm
Like,
getting a little bit of
she's
Stockholm
eventually-
syndrome.
Yeah. From what exactly?
I'm starting to feel a bit sorry for Marty.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just a little bit.
I mean, that definitely casts him in a more sympathetic light. Her.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna start using them for Marty. It's probably better.
Yeah, I'm not
There.
sure. I'm not sure which they prefer.
You know what this level
The gender binary doesn't seem to limit them, so
Yeah.
Well, Marty didn't put
Well,
my pronouns
face
in,
stuff.
in their
Yeah.
emails.
Because it's whichever one they show up as.
I mean,
Talk amongst
Marty.
yourselves.
oh, because we haven't been. You're saying in character do it now.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
So
Guess we're back at Noah's workshop, so
what did she show you?
we failed at every quest that we had.
What do you mean failed?
Can I, just so I don't repeat everything, can I have Nim essentially explain all of the visions that he saw without needing to re-explain them?
You mean failed as in the bomb goes off eventually? We never stopped the bomb?
Never stop it. You died, Lil died, I imagine Korshana died.
Well, I've done that twice already.
I haven't done that at all yet, and I'd rather not do it once, even.
I'm sorry, Lol, you haven't done what yet?
You totally
Die and
died.
come back? Yeah, you did.
Well,
That's how you switch bodies.
don't want to do that again.
Which character is this? How many times has this character died? Hold on. Rolodex.
That's what I have to keep track of.
And so Marty was saying that the only way to change this timeline is to make a big change now. Is that what you're saying?
Marty said I needed a different pact. That was the kind of big change that would change these future decisions.
But how would getting a new pact when you already have all this power as a prince and it wasn't enough, how would a new pact and losing those powers make any difference?
I asked the same thing. All Marty had to go off of was a gut feeling that there is a better outcome. Just not this one.
You want some advice, Nim?
Sure.
That is, I've done that before. And just because you are on a different timeline does not mean that that other outcome is going to be the same or better. It could be worse. I saw.
I
I
don't
was
see
arrogant enough to
how
think that, yeah.
I don't see how it could get any worse than failing at everything.
Well, that's because you never know until you see it.
Well,
I thought that my actions would change the future, and they did to an extent. But I saw in the final seconds of my life that it was, in my opinion, a worse outcome. Some may not be as lucky as me as to be able to see the future of their actions. And so I just want to let you know, Nim, that just because you don't like the path that you're on now does not mean that another one will necessarily be better. So keep that in mind when you're making your decision.
There's some
Moving on.
things I. Yeah.
just gonna say, I would argue that seeing the future in itself is a potential change to it.
Fuck.
You know what you're avoiding now.
Mm-hmm.
If we
But
did
just
that,
because we know what to avoid, we don't know how to avoid it.
Yeah.
Artie couldn't show me choices that I hadn't made yet.
So this is one outcome way down the line based on one choice that has a whole bunch of choices between when you made that pact and when they happen.
An awfully
it's best to go
convenient
in circles
future
and
for
go.
him to show you, given that it pushes you to make a decision he wants you to make.
Yep. And also because can't can't you pick what future you want to go to?
It's a good question, Silent. How does the future thing work? I couldn't tell how direct it was that you could see a specific thing.
Not at the moment, no.
Cool. So he'd need to relay that he doesn't think so, but
Oh,
he's also only done it like one time, so. If he wanted us off of this path, he could have just killed me. He could have just gotten it over with.
And then the
But-
Winter Queen would find a different pawn to do the same work, no?
Well, wasn't the same thing?
If everything he says is true.
Didn't
The
he say that
previous-
this is Keithra? Didn't he say that the queen needed you for specifically?
That's what it sounded like.
yep.
So no, he couldn't have just killed us.
No, that means if he wanted to not let the queen win, he could have just killed you and then they win. Because she can't just replace him.
Yeah, but I'm sure the Summer Queen also wants the Void Shard. Like,
There we go.
Both the previous Summer Prince and previous Winter Prince don't exist anymore. No one remembers them. The story he told is identical to what he told us
Well,
about the Winter Prince.
and if the reason, if he's was or she was telling the truth about the reason why the Winter Queen wanted us is because of the Void Shard, then it's possible any other pact that you took, they would want the same thing. So you would just be trading being a pawn for one person for another for the same end.
This one is. And never jump
so
at
is
the
it
top.
just me, or do we
press
just
the
need to
dive button.
destroy this thing somehow?
That gives you the.
Yep.
Rather than obtain it.
If that's even possible. Maybe that's what causes the explosion, is the attempt to destroy it.
The saddest one
So
was-
we
was
yeet it into
me,
the astral sea before we
Kyle,
destroy it?
Pat.
That seems bad.
Kid is
Okay.
like, I think that's not a
Yeah.
good idea. I don't want to put that in another plane, especially one as prevalent as the astral plane.
Sure, it's a fair point.
Astral planes
I'm
are-
just thinking out loud here, people.
Also not devoid of life as far as I know. Just extremely rare.
You're right.
It's very
I
vast.
was just thinking, somewhere else.
Noah, do you remember anything else about why you were looking for that or why you went there?
Do I? Oh, do I?
It was a secret mission from the king himself.
Yeah, a secret mission from the king himself.
Very much on need to know basis, so you were given very little information other than you had to retrieve this specific item.
It was above my pay grade.
Yara was leading the expedition, if I recall correctly.
She was an expert on the mission. So
Expert, but not leading it. Who? I wonder who was leading it.
Captain so and so. Captain Bane.
Okay,
Yeah.
so not important.
Yep.
Are you afraid?
But Yara knows about this void shard. And she chose to wait, does Noah remember if the Yara oh, this would have been way before the Fate Pact.
Yep.
Yara was an expert on the mission, so she must know about the Void Shard, but she still willingly struck a deal with Ortuvia.
Could have been a reason for that.
My guess is
Maybe.
Ortuvia knows how to handle the Void Shard.
Or at least said he did.
Wants it.
Because if this might just be a guess, but I think that Yara's part of the bargain is to wipe the Fae from existence.
Oh.
She might feel that that's the only way to free you from a Fae deal, is if there's no more Fae to be dealt with.
And you have
That's
to
a
reveal
logical
the Fae, and you
conclusion.
still-
Which means that she must believe that that Ortuvia has a way to handle this Void Shard. Which means that it's possible that Ashana should too. If they are.
Or maybe since she was there for the expedition, she's able to handle it like we supposedly are, or at least you.
I don't know if I can.
Well, it didn't destroy you. So
Oh
that's something.
no!
It also fucked me up.
That's fair.
And I'm also not in my original body, so.
Well, if she's really doing this for Nim, she might not care what happens to her.
Yeah, but I don't know if she's aware now that Nim is Fae. And so are we. I'm pretty sure if she goes through with this plan, it'll wipe all of us from existence as well. Fae touched.
Then we have to find a way to talk to her without her killing us.
In the vision I had, it still went off even after she was dead, even after Noah was dead. Something else can still set it
But
off.
didn't you say we
I don't know.
destroyed Ortuvia?
I don't have kids, so
They did, right?
Yep.
Yes.
I'm not.
So
doing
what if,
anything
like,
else
Noah
with
said
my time.
Ortuvia actually can,
Dude, look at this guy. He's
or
fucking
a
Rain Man.
quarry can actually do something with it,
Rain Man.
or get rid of it somehow?
What if the
Or were you
Void
just
Shard...
saying that he'd use it to destroy the Fae? Sorry. Maybe I misunderstood you.
The void shard could be the explosion that you saw in the future. Or at least it's powering something that caused that kind of explosion.
How many people were with you on that expedition?
I want to say 4.
Mhm.
It was Shifter, Yara, Captain So and So, me.
I mean, there were soldiers and other people. Captain So-So was just leading the soldier group in the whole thing. The important ones were 4.
Okay.
The Shifter, Yara, you, and another human male.
Other human male. Do I know any? Do I remember anything in particular about the human male?
I mean, he was Druish.
Hmm,
Druidic.
interesting.
Sorry, what's Druish?
I think that's a joke from, what is it? One of the Mel Brooks movies.
It was. It's from Spaceballs.
I was gonna say, is that a fucking Spaceballs joke?
Yeah.
We ain't found shit.
So I have a question now. Knowing a lot more about kind of what everybody's stake is on this, do we have a better idea about the order in which we're supposed to do these things? I feel like they're related. You're muted.
I know. I'm just saying not at all while shaking my head.
Oh,
You're
okay.
Oh, this might actually be a good time to call Heek, because this reminds me of something I was gonna have him ask.
um, so remind me again. We're supposed to deal with Ortuvia last,
No.
after Marty.
After
Well, not
Marty.
necessarily last, but after Marty.
After Marty. Not
Yeah,
last.
I mean, this future that Marty shows you didn't include us killing him, so there's a fucking difference for you.
That is different.
Can you even go to futures where you're not alive?
I've never tried.
Those questions.
Um,
We can go back to the past before we existed. I assume we can do the same in the future.
well, shit.
We could go back to when you found the shard, but it's possible we can't. It's possible if Marty couldn't glean any information, I wouldn't be able to go back to that either.
Here's my guess. I think that the reason this is, I can't speak for either court. I think both are equally suspicious. But assuming what Marty says is true, I'm guessing that the reason we have to fight Artuvia after Marty is related to why Yara is teamed up with him in the first place and having to do with picking up this void shard. We deal with Marty first so that there are no interferences, and then we deal with Artuvia, the void shard. And the
But
White
if
Queen
it's
takes it.
it's gonna take us a long time before we're strong enough to deal with Marty. If some of these things, it sounds like if we wait anywhere near that long, it's gonna be way too late.
I think they're at a stalemate though. Except for Yara and Ortuvia. I wonder what's keeping them from completing whatever they need to do?
I don't know. Or
Maybe-
Tuvia wanted the shards. I imagine he wants what it makes for something. It's a
You're saying
weapon.
that.
Yeah.
You're saying that the shards of Artuvia make the void shard, or
No,
No.
the idea is that
Maybe they
we can use it
try
as a
it.
weapon against him, but also he has some use of it that he has in mind other than that, so it has more than one use.
That's why he had you collecting them before we got caught up with the Fae, I'd
Yeah,
imagine. And
I would
now
agree with that.
it's possible that whatever Yara brought back is doing the same.
you know, Koroshana? I think that would also explain why Ashana's goal for you is different from where we're trying to go. Ashana just wants Ortuvia dealt with. The Fae have ulterior motives.
Really weren't
Sorry, I guess
to a degree
you're
on
saying
the best ground.
we
but-
have our own third set of motives? I am a little confused.
Well, Ashana has no quarrel with the Fae necessarily, but she wants Ortuvia dealt with, which is why she doesn't care about dealing with Marty or anything. But Marty and the Winter Queen, they want to mess with each other's plans, which is why they want us to deal with Marty first and then go for the shard. But Ashana doesn't see all of that, is my guess. Well, not that she doesn't see it, but rather it's not as much of a concern for her. I don't know. I'm
Like
spitballing.
30 years,
No,
right?
that has always kind of been how I've seen it. I obviously all of these things we're trying to do are connected.
Never give up.
I don't
Never
think that's
surrender.
lost on her, or she wouldn't
At
have
all
sent
costs.
me to you three. But I do
Surrender,
think that
hurt.
yes, her main driver is the mission, which
Shit.
will
Oh,
free
I don't
this
know how
plane
much
of
I read it.
the being with which she is at war. I think that's true.
Yes.
I think, I don't know, I think that she wants us to do that as fast as we can, but I also think that the world ending in mass destruction is not exactly what she's looking for either. So if doing that as fast as we can leads to the whole world blowing up, I don't think that's a compromise that we should make. Does that
I have another question.
help? Yeah.
Yeah, it does. But then the question becomes, what is Lowell's stake in this? What is your ancestry? How is it tangled in this massive web? You have any idea, Lowell?
I don't know. There's not really anybody I can think of to ask anymore other than maybe if that other shifter clan really is in the whatever it was reef. I'm drawing a blank at the moment. as I scroll it.
Might be a good idea to learn more about your people.
You think that might inform our course of action?
Inkclaw Reef.
Yep. Because
I
there,
agree.
because there is Lowell is here for a reason. Even if it's not related to him specifically, it is related to his blood. And so we don't know anything about it. But we know of this golden cat shifter. We don't know how it becomes one or what it means.
Or where it came from.
Exactly. Are there any clans that are not outright trying to kill you?
The only ones we've run into are the Zumba clan, which is the cat shifters that have been going after me, but there's that clan that nobody really seems to know about, and that might be in the Inklar Reef. And then there's also the yoga clan and the CrossFit clan, but I don't know where to even start to look for them.
I think that though the that mystery clan would be a good place to start, since we know at least roughly where they're located.
And if they've
If
been able to keep out of sight for so long, you might be able to find out how they hide from the other clans too.
That is an excellent point. And they might know something about the whereabouts of the other clans as well. I imagine they wouldn't keep themselves isolated necessarily, even if they are hidden.
that's it's kind of why I wanted to go down there, to see if there was something we could find.
Okay. Are you ready to accept responsibility for crimes you haven't even done? In terms of you going there would mean you would have to accept responsibility for what your clan has done in the past, right? Do I remember that right?
I don't even know what that was. And it, from what I was able to find, it was mainly the Zuma clan that kept going after the balance, after the clan wars were over.
Hmm.
So maybe the other clans don't have the same kind of resentment. Maybe there's something that's pushing them further. I don't know.
I hope that's the
This
case.
theme of imbalance seems to come up, but it seems to be primarily between your clan and these cat shifters. So perhaps the other clans could
Oh yeah, that'd be a
tell
good
you more
separation.
about how the imbalance happened, so we can fix it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe it does have something to do with this golden cat shifter that Nem was shown. That killed me. But
Are we going on it? No, go ahead.
Just seemed like a theme in all those futures that you were shown was that we were on our own. Maybe the real takeaway is that this is too big for just us alone, that we need to find allies.
Yes. I think that is a great point.
Because we're just four people. Depending on how crazy the powers that we're up against, the four of us might not be enough. The
5.
five.
And if everything goes well, 6, including him.
But
You make a
basically,
good point,
he was
Lowell.
like,
Because
There's
but if we were ambushed here, that means we gotta be careful even when we're here. We can't let our guard down.
I don't know if this is the best home base then. If that other Noah is also Noah, why wouldn't he know about this place?
That's
Well, he was made in. He wasn't made here.
but
Does he
But,
have all the same memories?
He has the memories up until he was made.
And you visited this place before that point, or whatever version of you it was.
Well, I made him, and then I was arrested.
But
And
did
then
this place exist before or after you made him?
silent.
Silent.
A lab?
Yeah, the place we're in right
this
now.
workshop.
Did Noah
It
build
existed
it?
before.
It existed before,
Then yeah, I think that he knows what you know about this place existing. Whether or not he knows we're here is different, but
if
Why hasn't
there's
he come
some
here
way,
then?
maybe he can tell that the factory's been shut down.
Why has he not come here before?
Maybe he's. I don't know.
It's free real estate.
is it because you weren't here?
Maybe he's not a. Maybe it's a range thing. Maybe he can't tell that the factory's been shut down yet, but at some point he gets close enough to where he can tell, or at least that he can tell that you're here.
Why would he care? The Ark is here. My robots are here. M was here. He stood to gain a lot by commandeering the whole workshop. He had access to my whole library too.
He's been doing whatever he's been doing for this long without it.
Maybe
I
it's
think he was after you.
yeah, it's because it might be something with the memories that you managed to get back from the Winter Queen.
Speaking
There.
of which, if I leave the Winter Court somehow, what happens to you, Noah?
Good question. Depends on who made my body. But as far as I'm concerned, I completed. My deal is done. I was given access to my magic. I brought you to the Winter Queen, and that was it. I got my memories back.
Uh, with everything we've dealt with the Fae, I don't know if it's gonna be as cut and dry as that.
Yeah, probably not. Probably not.
But uh, and some of the stuff that was said was kind of made some of the things that the Winter Queen said not quite make sense. Like,
Like what?
if the reason why we have to defeat Marty is to bring balance, how does that bring balance between the courts?
My understanding of it was defeated Marty is not a normal, well, as normal as Fae go, normal Fae prince. And so by removing Marty, uh,
Sorry, but neither is Nim.
The only one
In
that's
fact,
important
they're
is Carol
more
Jackson.
similar than they're different.
well, I think aside from Nim, the Winter Queen doesn't have.
I mean, this whole thing is that Marty's not originally Fae, but neither's Nim.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is true.
I mean, not a half dragon, half Kalishtar, but a half elf of two people with great power for mortals. I
Go to the box of doom.
don't know.
I, I would think Nim no longer being the Summer Prince would do more for balance between the courts than taking out Marty.
Well, Nim was a summer knight, and
Yeah,
so
Summer Night, yeah.
the Winter Queen had no court essentially. No
She
prince, no
she
prince,
had a
just a
knight,
knight. She had a knight. Yeah, that's correct.
but
Knight,
she
no
could
prince.
she could have taken any prince without having to take out Marty as part of it.
She didn't
That's the
have to wait.
imbalance part.
She didn't have to wait 200 years for you to remember you were supposed to bring me there.
It seems like Nim in particular, or each of us, but since we're talking about the courts, Nim in particular is important, just like Marty in particular is important. Yes, Marty is more powerful than Nim, but on the scale of the centuries that the Winter Queen clearly expects Nim to serve,
Vernon Davis.
it seems like Nim be the Winter Prince is more balanced
Oh, okay.
than
Yeah, to eliminate.
not.
two
I mean,
people.
look, Marty's a fucking asshole, so maybe that's it. But
Just to get the jump.
I will
Maybe
say that the reason I thought that what the Winter Queen made sense at the time was that assuming that she actually let Nim off the hook once we defeat Marty, I felt like she only would have allowed that because there was not an opposing non-Fey prince in the Summer Court, so it would have been okay for her to install her own Fey prince that's not Nim, since the Summer Court did not have an irregular prince as well.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
One of those things where, like, sure, you can not be my prince, but if you want to continue to be my prince, it's the summer court's problem that there's an imbalance, not mine anymore.
This is complicated.
Either way,
On that note, we should probably end because it's 11:30.
shit.
Beach episode next Tuesday. Beach episode next Tuesday.
Yeah, but I had one more thing I was gonna try and say along that.
Let you guys get hit.
No, go for it. Go for it.
Yeah, you can still say
Right
it.
side.
No way.
Right side.
It's like we could keep
What?
talking about this.
B
all
has
night
one more thing
midnight.
to say.
Go for it.
My guys over there by
It's
himself. I wanna
it's might be crazy, but what if instead of destroying Marty, we freed him or her?
All right, now we end the session.
You're okay.
I think Nim already had that idea. I like it. I really like it.
Oh, fuck. That would be dope as shit.
Oh, I killed that guy.
Oh my.
How would we do that, though?
Sounds like her husband's on board too.
Damn, guys.
Still haven't figured out